And is it going to go live? For realsies. For realsies, for realsies. It says excellent connection, but I don't see my beautiful face yet. And now I do. Okay, we're good. So,
Okay.
just double checking. Because there's always like a bit of a latency between the two, obviously. You know, you stream. You do things on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that was a lame-ass introduction. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cocktail Hour at the appropriately scheduled time that we actually do it, or supposed to be doing it, as we have predetermined, so many months ago. How many, is it like 2 years that we've been doing this? It feels like 2 years, right? I'm not going crazy, right?
No.
When did we start?
I'm not eating.
Polly's eating right now, so...
I'm not eating. It's fine.
No, that definitely doesn't sound like you're stuffing your face with things. What are you eating, Polly?
A sandwich.
Ooh, what's on the
I'm
sandwich?
not. If I were eating, I'd be eating a sandwich, but I'm not, so I'm not.
Okay, so what is in this fictitious sandwich that you're not eating right now?
Turkey and cheddar on toast.
Mm-hmm. Is it like a white cheddar or is it like a yellow cheddar? And toast, as in you've pre-toasted the bread, right? Before you put the turkey and the cheddar on the bread, right?
Oh, as opposed to like a melt. I was like, who the fuck? Who does that?
Well, like, okay, so there's different types of toast. Like, you toast it in the toaster, or you can like panini press it, or you can like.
No, fair enough.
Like a grilled cheese, you can just put it on a.
No, I
pan.
pre-toasted.
Right,
I guess
okay.
would be the answer. You know, they got this sign on the toaster in my department.
Mm-hmm.
It's taped to the fucking wall. So some passive-aggressive fucker went into Microsoft Word, and like, 'cause it's not written, it's typed, and it printed it out, and it says, "Please do not put buttered bread, or bread with mayonnaise on it in the toaster." Do I do it anyway?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you gotta turn the toaster on its side, obviously, so that butter side is always up instead of sideways.
But no, it's a vertical toaster, like slices like straight up and down. It's a 4-slice toaster.
Right, yeah. Like, it's a
Oh.
standard toaster, but I mean, if you're putting the buttered toast in the toaster,
Yeah.
you want to turn the toaster on its side so that the toast is always butter face up.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, I don't know how much butter you're putting on your bread. That sounds, I mean, mostly it comes down to mayo, okay, for me.
Right.
Right? So you put a little miracle, don't roll your eyes at me. I put butter on bread, but it's not, and I do, but it's not in this particular case. See, what happens is that I'm bringing a sandwich to campus with me. And it'll get around the wee hours in the morning, and it's time for a snack. And so it's like, I'm off to the department lounge, which is really, the professors view it as their personal lounge, even though it's not supposed to be, but they're greedy cocksuckers. And if they could kick all of us grad students out overnight, they would, and turn the department into a giant professors club.
Right.
They act like having students there, even though we're the reason they're there, is some kind of encumbrance upon them. Because, welcome to academia.
Well, fuck students. I mean, don't fuck students. But, like, little shits.
Well,
they can be little shits, Polly. As a former student, I can attest to this fact.
I remember one professor said to me, this is a great line. She was, do you know, she's talking about like being a professor and you're supervising a grad student, right? And it's like, do you know how you make it okay to fuck your supervisee? And I said, how? And she said, marry them.
You can't marry more than one supervisee, though.
And I was like, what? And I laughed and I said, where'd that come from? And she said, dude, that is like one of the biggest open secrets that nobody mentions in all of academia, is that most married couples, if you ask where the female is younger than the male, where the wife is younger than the husband, it's just like, just ask. And I'm willing to bet that was he was the supervisor and she was the grad student in her doctoral or master's program.
Well, when you spend that much time together.
Yeah, and you obviously have mutual interests, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
It's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, I mean, like as old as universities, at least. Right. Yeah, the modern university system, anyway. But like she said like it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. It's the end of your career. You're gonna get like not only labeled as somebody who isn't professional, but actually taking sexual advantage of your power position. And the moment you get married, that's it. It's done. The problem's gone. That's the end of it. And I said, really? And she goes, I did.
Wait, she was the one that married the professor? Or she's the professor?
Yeah, and I said, really? You married your supervisor? And she said, yeah. And I said, really, John? Like the thing I know him, you know?
John?
Goes, yeah, he was my supervisor. And I was like, no shit. And she goes, yeah. And she goes, like I said, it's the biggest open secret. Everybody knows it. Like, professors sleep with their grad students. It happens. And it's a lot of the time that they're a married couple, that's how they met. Just think about it, like it's not only like mutual interest in terms of like academics and whatnot, but the specificity of that, like the whole person, the whole point of this person being your supervisor is because they study the exact same thing that you do. Right. So it's that degree of mutual interest.
So this is like a one-time get out of jail free card, unless you're like a serial divorcee kind of person.
Yeah, basically a serial divorcee. Yeah, right. That's
right. Unless you're my mother.
Yeah.
No, I jest. She's working on husband number 3 right now. But they haven't actually gotten together yet because he's like 20 years her senior.
It pops into mind. Somebody said a statistic to me one time, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around the meaning of it. So did you know that your chances of getting divorced increase not exponentially, but actually geometrically past your first divorce?
Geometrically?
Yeah.
What does geometrically mean? Like, I know exponentially just means, like, it goes up. Like, the more you do it, the more it multiplies by however many factors. But geometrically, is that, like...
That outside of the parentheses are multipliers for what's going on inside the parentheses, hence geometrically. So it's like multiple orders of magnitude of, it's a multiplication upon exponential.
Okay.
Geometric. So there's like lots times more and many uber lots times more. That's all it means.
Okay. I'm gonna have to take your word for it because I became a coder so that I didn't actually have to do the math. I could just make the computers do it for me and just streamline that process because I was never actually good at math. Believe it or not. You do not have to be good at math to major in computer science, kids. The more you know. You just have to be good at one specific kind of math. Well, logic. You have to be good at logic.
Yeah, there's a reason there were so many computer science people in my logic classes.
Yeah.
And law students.
Yeah. There is some overlap there.
Yeah.
But so I'm really interested in this sandwich that you've made, or this hypothetical sandwich that you've made yourself.
We're back to the sandwich, are we?
Yes,
no,
as a woman.
I jumped over the campus sandwich.
Right.
So what I'm
back
doing
to the sandwich.
To make the sandwich more tasty,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and to give it some oomph, right? Who doesn't love a toasted sandwich? After all, right?
I prefer toasted sandwich to soft sandwiches. Just
sure. So it's 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm the only one in the fucking department, or I'm one of the few people in the department. Like the other people are off in their office doing whatever the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, you know, I walk into the department lounge, and like right above the toaster, taped to the fucking wall, is this sign: "Do not put mayonnaise or Miracle Whipped or buttered bread in the toaster." And I'm not really sure what their fucking problem is, but I don't fucking care. Because what I end up doing is just taking the bread off of the innards of the sandwich.
Right.
You know what I mean? And putting it in the toaster. And I've found that all it really does is kind of like warm up the mayonnaise. It doesn't really like do anything to it, if you know what I mean. The inside of that one layer, of that one side of the one piece of bread that has mayonnaise on it, will not be toasted. But the other 3 sides will be. So it's fine. You still get that delightful, toasty crispiness.
Right.
Yeah, and
you
I still have no idea what the fucking problem is. Like what? The next time you come along and put bread in there, like to make your fucking toast, or you put your bagel in there, whatever the fuck you do, it comes out with mayo on it and it pisses you off? Yeah, I don't fucking care.
Well, I guess that's part of the issue, maybe.
You can have my sloppy seconds. I don't give a fuck. I'm putting whatever I want in that toaster.
Maybe like part of the issue is drippage. Like some people, they really like soggy sandwiches. Now, I'm not one of these kinds of people. I like mine with just enough to kind of get that flavor saturated there, and then I like the crunch. No one likes a soggy sandwich, but I definitely do not like a flaccid sandwich, so I like mine toasted, right? But some people smother that shit in mayonnaise. My father is one of these people that likes a very soggy sandwich. And so if it's an issue of there's so much mayonnaise on here that it starts dripping down when it gets heated up, because, I mean, obviously, you have enough mayonnaise, it will drip down to the whatever is at the bottom of the toaster.
Yeah, the crumb catcher.
Right. And you just leave it there. Like, Polly, have you ever smelt like 2-week-old mayonnaise left out in the sun?
God, no, I haven't.
Yeah, imagine how gross it gets smell-wise. Just
yeah,
sitting there.
I mean, I'm putting a very moderate amount of mayo or Miracle Whip inside of a sandwich, so I don't really think it's an issue. Maybe if people are slopping that shit on there, it becomes an issue, but
it's just me steel manning the Microsoft Word sign on the fridge in the office.
But you know what my thought on it is like, if you, let's say you're putting this sign up for your fellow authoritarians, i.e. instructors and whatnot, that are part of your fucking little club. Yeah. Okay, fine. But if you're putting it there for the grad students like myself, go to hell is my thought on the matter. Because, well, no, and I'll tell you why. Here's my reasoning for that. And because, I've got the time to think about these things while the toast is toasting. Right. I mean, you know what? There's all of y'all and there's me and like us, okay? I put money into this system. You take money out of this system.
Right, because you're grad student and they're the professors.
So in other words, this is my fucking toaster, not yours.
I own this toaster. I paid for the toaster. I'm gonna fucking use the toaster as God intended.
Yeah. Who funded the toastering? Me. Right. And people like me. So I'll do whatever the fuck I want.
This toaster because of me.
Right. So, I mean, you dictating the terms upon which I will use the toaster that I myself funded with my tuition payments and whatnot, and campus fees and every other goddamn thing, all you do is take out of the system. I pay into it. You can go to hell.
Hey, this is why I appreciate your company, Polly, because you have such strong opinions on things. Yes, Polly did just pull the I pay your salary card. And he did it shamelessly.
Well, I bought your toaster card in this case, but whatever.
Right. I agree with Daniel Fullman. If you just tip the toaster on its side, everyone's happy. You get to toast your mayonnaise bread, and they don't get mayonnaise in the toaster. It's a win-win-win for all parties involved.
You know what? You guys have sparked my interest. I'm gonna pull out the crumb catcher tray, and I'm gonna see what's what. Like, is there a bunch of burnt, old, disgusting mayo and butter on there? If so, I will understand the point. But there wasn't ever sufficient mayonnaise, regardless of the temperature, to be able to drip off of the bread in the first place.
Right, like, assuming you're the only one that does it. But what if you're not the only one that does exactly that? Because if you say that there's not sufficient amount to do that, then why would and it's never done that, and you're the only one that does that, then why would they put the sign up in the first place? Obviously, someone noticed there was a problem going on with drippage or some sort of residue left over, and enough to put the sign up.
Let's just produce a thought experiment here for a second, if you will. Okay, let's say that you were eating nachos right now. Right. So they had melted cheese and sour cream, which is great on nachos and salsa and whatnot. Yeah. So your fingers are all greasy.
Right.
And they're covered in all sorts of, like, sour cream and salsa and general cheese grease. Okay. And you were to, after eating one of them, just turn around and wipe your hands on the chair behind you.
Do you own the chair?
No. You, Weebo, are the one doing this on camera.
Right, okay, I did that.
Okay, you did that. Okay.
And on this chair.
Then, right. And then I email El Boyfriendo to put up a sign to tape it to the wall beside you that says, please do not wipe your fingers on the chair.
That's so passive aggressive.
The question, in this thought experiment.
This is a terrible thought experiment. Why would you just shame me on stream?
No, the question at the end of this thought experiment is thus, okay? Would you be justified in saying, I bought this chair, it's mine, go to hell? And my answer would be yes, you would be justified in saying that.
But in this thought experiment, I am the only one that uses this chair except for maybe Meowschwitz, who will sit on it, or Valentine, who will also sit on it, but they don't give a shit. They'll lick the chair clean if that's what I do. Alright? But they don't give a shit. I'm the only one that actually gives a shit about whether or not my chair is clean. Not that I would do that, but if I were to do that, and I wanted to just bask in my own grotesque filth, I'm the only one that's affecting, really. But the toaster is a community toaster, Polly.
Okay, wait, now see, therein lay the difficulty, my difficulty. Mm-hmm. This is not a tragedy of the commons thing that you might recall from some political science class you took at some point. You ever heard the concept of the tragedy of the commons?
Tragedy of the commons is like... No, I didn't, but I'm going to take a gander, right? All right. Context clues.
Okay, context clues, right? Okay.
I'm going to use my context clues to define a term that I don't know the meaning of.
Sure.
The tragedy of the commons is, woe is you, for you are suffering an issue that you aren't actually suffering, but we think that you should be suffering because we, the authorities, say so.
No.
No, okay. Then I have no idea.
It is the ultimate failure of communism, amongst many other failures.
Okay.
When things are owned in common, nobody gives a fuck.
Oh, yeah. That, mm-hmm.
Right? If you've ever... Oh, holy shit, you are the perfect person to make this point to. Do you remember the kitchen? Do you remember the state of your kitchen at college?
Yes.
It was disgusting and weird. Okay, because it was owned in common, used in common, etc., etc.
That's actually not true, Polly. I fucking cared, as is evidenced by the fact that you know about this and that this is established lore on this channel. The tragedy of the commons is that I had to deal with the common tragedy of the kitchen, the state of my kitchen that I used.
Right, and this now here's the thing.
Right.
Okay, there's like a public park or the dorm kitchen or whatever. If there isn't somebody being paid by a centralized system to clean it up, you're not going to. Now, this is your chair, so it remains white and fuzzy and clean without greasy finger wipes on it. Okay, right. Because it's yours. Now, if you were to put that chair outside for a week, I shudder to think of the state of it.
This is Chicago, after all.
You see my point.
Right.
Now, the central difference with this toaster is that the professors are under the misapprehension that toaster is owned in common, one, or that they own it, two. I take umbrage and issue with that presupposition and offer that no, that toaster, if owned in common, is owned in common amongst the grad students, if anyone, of which I am one, and you are not, go to hell.
Right.
So this is not this is a public item that therefore, we can come up with some kind of group idea. No, did you put money into the system? No, you didn't. Remember, this is a political science department. So it's not like they aren't subject to these concepts,
right.
nor are unfamiliar with them.
Mm-hmm.
I would raise that issue, which is why okay, let me tell you a story.
Okay.
I'm sitting at my desk in my office, way around the corner from where the department lounge is.
Right.
Okay. And I'm grading papers, which I do in pencil, which you should, as a little pro tip there.
Well, remember that for when I'm grading papers later.
Right, because if you write something that ends up being like, by the time you get to the end of the paper, you're like, that was or you read 5 more papers and you're like, that was too harsh. I'm going to go back. You can erase is the point. Use erasable
Right.
ink or use pencils, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I've got 3 pencils because, you know, you want to keep them relatively sharp and they, you know, etc. Okay. They all end up getting dull. So I pick up all 3 pencils and I open my little 3-drawer desk that's got all my, you know, clerical
Pencil
goodies in it.
sharpening, yeah,
Yeah, it's
apparatus.
a, you know, I'm looking for the little square sharpener. You know the kind
Yeah.
I'm talking about,
Oh, I
right?
love those things. I use that on my eyeliner.
Right. I thought I had one of them in there, and I didn't.
Uh-huh.
I still don't know where that fucking thing went. I swear I had
This
one
is
in
why
there.
we had mechanical pencils, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Well, yeah. So I'm like, oh, there's a pencil sharpener in the fucking lounge. I'm gonna go in there. I didn't know what time it was, but it was noon.
Mm-hmm.
From like in between literally 12 o'clock to 1 p.m. Where all the 9 to 5ers, as I call them, the professors that try and
Right.
treat an academic job like it's a 9 to 5 job, which it's not. Like if you got to stay late because it's that time of the term because you're grading papers or you're whatever the fuck you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
you're writing an exam, grading an exam, your office hours are at that time or whatever the hell, then that's life, yo. Like it's but the 9 to 5ers show up at 9, they leave at 11:30 and they come back at 1:30 from lunch. Yes, that's a 2-hour lunch, and then they're gone by 4.
I
And
would
they will
love
not
to take a 2-hour lunch. Fuck! I'm in the wrong
Yeah.
line of work.
Well, welcome to academia once you have tenure, and the people that are in a tenure track job, like associate professor, and they are trying to be all buddies and friends with all the people in the department that are going to be
Right.
part of the voting committee onto whether or not they get tenure. So they're there to kiss ass and suck dick,
Right.
you know, to, you know, ingratiate themselves such that they're much more likely to get tenure because
what
they
this-
want to be able to do that.
Right.
They want to be a 9 to 5er.
Right.
And it's like, don't come in. Most of your work can be done remotely. Those are the coolest professors, by the way. The people that they're there when it's their office hours or when they're in the middle of a deep research project and they need to be there because the research they're doing is on campus or whatever. And, you know, they'll have like a class that's at like, you know, 2 in the afternoon or 10 in the morning or whatever. And they'll show up at their office like 45 minutes before then to grab all their shit or whatever the fuck.
Right.
That's when you see them in the department. The other people, they take their lunch and they all get together and they all have these, you know, they're part of a group, as I call them, the 9 to 5ers, or more insultingly as the administrators masquerading as scholars.
Oh.
I,
Yes. I've been there.
I walk
done
in,
that.
I walk in and I hear them talking. Like I hear a group of people talking, and I walk in a pretty big room, this lounge, and the pencil sharpener is literally right around the corner from the door, screwed to the wall,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's a trash can right beneath it for any shavings that might fall.
Yeah.
So I turn the corner and I start sharpening, and it's only then that I realize that all the conversation stopped. Have you ever felt 16 pairs of eyes on you at once, on your back?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the time.
Okay, that was that feeling. You know, like I just walked in the room fucking naked or in a clown suit or something. You know what I mean? Because
You're
for
just
them,
sharpening a pencil.
yeah, it was that level of violation of their territory. That's why they all stopped talking. I mean, they weren't talking about like me or grad students in general or
Right.
you know what they're gonna do in their
Right. It's you'd stumbled into the lion's den as an antelope, and they're like,
yeah. So like I start sharpening like the one pencil and I can feel the eyes on me. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta get this. You know, all of a sudden I'm sharpening faster, right? Second pencil goes in there. And I kind of like look over my shoulder to see it. Yeah, all the heads were turned towards me. And when I put the third pencil in there and I'm going, one of the professors actually did it. Is like, so, the weather sure changed from this morning. It was rather cool, huh? Actually brought up the fucking weather just to break the silence. The weather, Weebo. So the weather sure
not the
changed from this
weather.
morning. It was kind of nippy out there. It's
Right.
did you hear this? Yeah. And then when I got out the third pencil and walked away, yeah, sure enough, when I was around the corner, the conversation started up again. That's the level of high school cool kids table in the cafeteria mentality that these grown adults with 6-figure salaries have. So is it beyond one of these people to go to their office, open up MS Word, and type a passive-aggressive thing that they then tape to the fucking wall? I would say not.
okay, yeah, no, I can see it. As someone who has done that before in the community kitchen at college, written notes, not passive aggressive, they were very aggressive notes. And they're all on the Twitter timeline, by the way. Like, go back what was it, 2 years? 2.5 years? 3 years at this point, I think. Because it would have been in 2019 that this would have all gone down. Yeah, I remember making the notes. Because, like, they'd leave dishes in the sink, and they'd leave fucking yogurt and meat products on the countertop for hours and hours and hours. And we had a fly problem at some point, and it was absolutely 100% because they'd leave gross dishes unwashed in the sink just for days and days and days. So it got to the point where I grabbed an Amazon box that I wasn't using, and I just plopped everything in there, and I said, what was it? I called it the box of lost dishes, or unwanted dishes or something. And I left it there in the corner. I was like, they can take care of it when they want to. That's where they're going to be. Until then, I'll use the sink as I want to, and the rest of the kitchen. Anyway, I'm still salty about it.
Let me ask you a question. I'm curious.
Yeah.
There we go. Were you allowed hot plates, toaster ovens, any sort of cooking instrumentation at all in your dorm room itself?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Really? Okay.
I had a crock pot in my freshman year dorm, actually, for like a day while I was making Super Bowl chili, because that's something that I do to this day, actually, is I make a gigantic pot of chili with my super secret recipe, and I invite all my friends, and they have all the chili, and then I'm out. So I actually had a crock pot in my freshman year dorm room in February, and then we made chili, and the room smelled like chili for the rest of the year. But yeah.
In other words, delicious.
Yes, but you did get kind of sick of it after a while.
Sure.
Because it was a constant spill of chili, so we had to, like, spritz it with Glade. But, yeah, we didn't have any restrictions about that. They had restrictions on things like, you couldn't bring knives, no guns,
Fair enough.
no fairy lights was one. Like, anything that could start a fire that was, like,
a fire.
light.
Okay.
But none of the cooking implements were really out of the question, because we had a kitchen in the dorm itself, a community kitchen in the dorm itself, and it didn't have, like, all the kitchen implements that you would normally have. So it was just literally a bunch of cabinets that were empty, a fridge kind of stocked with whatever people wanted to bring and put in the fridge, like a sink, a stove, a microwave, so that people could use it at, like, their leisure. But not a whole lot of actual kitchen implements, like utensils, dishes, a crock pot. So you had to bring that from home, store it in your room, bring it out when you wanted to use it, put it away when you were done.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, yeah, at my campus right now, in your offices, you are not allowed electronics of any kind.
In your office?
Yeah, because
like
people would
phone,
like
laptop.
toaster ovens,
Oh.
lights, like lamps, desk lamps. The mini fridges, especially, are a big no-no, because it all falls outside their insurance policy.
That's so
That
stupid.
if the whole fucking building burns down and it's because of your fucking mini fridge,
What
like
the
it's not covered.
What kind of insurance policy?
The cheapest one they could possibly get, apparently.
Obviously, jeez.
Yeah, the faculty under which auspices the department functions must have opted for the, like, what does it cover then? Because no insurance policy covers a so-called act of God, as they name them in insurance policies, nor
Right.
terrorism, right? They're always listed as that: acts of God, terrorism.
Wait, seriously, they don't cover that, or they do cover
No.
that?
And foreign aggression. No. If you read most insurance policies, like homeowner policies, they'll say the three things that are hilariously always excluded are foreign aggression, acts of God, and terrorism.
So, like, if we're invaded by Korea,
Yeah.
if another Twin Towers happens, or you
Lightning
get
bolt.
struck
or
by
a flood.
lightning.
Yeah, that's why flood insurance is a separate thing.
What the
Because a flood is a so-called act of God.
Then what the fuck is the point of insurance in the first place if it doesn't cover every possible fucking thing that could happen?
Yeah, I mean, like, what is Like I can, insurance companies are scumbags, man. I could see like a guy hopping the fucking curb and driving his fucking vehicle right through your living room accidentally.
That
And it'd
seems
be
like
like,
an act of God.
well, he was a foreign national, so that counts as foreign aggression. So we're not covering the damage.
The introduction of like the potential. Okay, so it's funny that you mentioned that because I actually had to look at my insurance policy for my renter's insurance recently to see if an infestation of like bed bugs would be covered, because we had a tenant complain to my dad, the landlord, about bed bugs just this weekend, and I had to go up there and take pictures for evidence of the thing. Before I went up there, I was like, all right, what happens? Are we covered? And I was thinking to myself, what if we're not covered for bed bugs? Because if you get bed bugs, they tell you have to burn literally everything, or you have to like wash everything, and it's a grueling, involved process, and you're probably not going to get everything squared away as much as you would like to. Anyway, I went up there, took the pictures, came downstairs. El Boyfriendo sprayed me with isopropyl alcohol before I even stepped foot in the building again, and then I stripped right as I stepped like past the threshold of my door, because I didn't want to introduce that into the environment, because we have cats.
And then
we
bag
have
everything. I hear you.
And then I bagged everything and I tied it off, and it's sitting in my kitchen right now, suffocating bugs as we speak, because they live a long fucking time, and that's, I guess, how you do that. But anyway, sorry. If technically, couldn't you say that bed bugs are an act of God, or justify it as such? I feel like you could.
Yeah, I mean,
they're bugs.
They're acts of God. Like, honestly, are insurance companies will include things that will, well, disallow things that are common occurrences. So if you live in a region that's prone to flooding, yeah, your insurance policy is definitely going to disallow that, because they sell you separate flood insurance.
That's so
It's just, they don't want to pay out because they know they will, because it's a common occurrence here. So we're going to charge a separate, more expensive insurance to offset that. I mean, it's the same reason that they charge.
That's scummy.
Yeah, that they charge men higher insurance or higher rates to insure their cars than women, because
because men drive like assholes.
Well, right, but then to make the same argument in return, why is health insurance not more expensive for women, since they go to the doctor and use more medical services? And the immediate response that I've gotten from every woman I've ever mentioned that to is, no, that's different. No, that's not true. They don't. And it's like, yeah, actually they do.
Preventative care.
You can demonstrate it. It's just, it's okay to say men are assholes and aggressive shit drivers that are in more accidents. It's just statistically true. And it's like, okay, yeah, but it's just a matter of statistics and numbers that
right.
care for women because of all of their complicated anatomy and whatnot.
Well, okay, so for
you know what I mean? They withdraw more from the health system. And every woman I've ever mentioned that to starts bringing up the fucking pink tax and blah, 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 blah. It's like, you just don't want to fucking pay more insurance, but you're perfectly okay with being a hypocrite and allowing men to be charged more insurance so you can have your insurance at a lower rate. So in other words, I, who have, never been in an accident, am subsidizing, because of statistics, your rates. That's nice. And as a man, I'm also subsidizing your health care too.
Wait.
That's fun.
Hold on. Pause. Because, okay. Here's the thing. Regarding the healthcare, yes, women go in more often. This is fact, right? But the maintaining lower rates, because even despite the fact that we go in more often, probably speaks more to the intention behind going in more often than men, right? So I get an annual checkup. I at these annual checkups get checked out to make sure that I'm not developing anything super cancerous, because the moment you do develop something cancerous, it's like a whole slew of other batteries of tests, of medicines, of a whole bunch of other things. And so the impetus behind going in more often is to catch those things before they actually become a bigger deal and a bigger expense on the medical system. So
what you're doing is really a piece of altruism.
Right. I'm helping you keep your rates down.
Right.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, like, maybe if you men went in more often and you know, got yourself checked out by the doctor, make sure you weren't developing, like, I don't know, testicular cancer, what have you. Maybe you would, you know, have lower rates. I don't fucking know.
Well,
go to the doctor, guys. Do it. Go see your physician. Make sure you're checked out. Tired of having this conversation with El Boyfriendo. I have a headache again. Did you want to go see a neurologist yet? No. I'm gonna wait until I develop, like, nosebleeds chronically before I go get a brain scan to see if I have, like, a brain tumor or something. It's fine. It's good. Sorry, this is a point of contention for me.
It's called rugged individualism, Weebo.
It's not individualism, it's every single fucking guy on the face of the planet. What are you doing to yourself? Why are you self-sabotaging? Do you hate yourself that much?
No, it's called self-reliance. You don't understand.
You gonna lobotomize yourself to get the brain tumor out?
No. See, that's the kind of comment. That's just sexism at work. What's going on with you right now?
Oh, sexism?
Yeah.
How is it sexism?
Every single guy on Earth is stupid because, I mean, how is that anything?
I did not say that. I said, you dumbasses who don't go to the doctor, predominantly men, because you're like, oh, I can...
Yeah, you just altered. You said predominantly. You said literally every single man on Earth. Like...
Okay, well, hashtag not all. I've been called out, I guess.
And Pop-Tarts,
it's entirely
Pop-Tart,
too many.
She says, men wait till they're dying, and it costs an extreme amount to pay off. Well, you know, again, this is just women's misunderstanding of the male mind. It's...
Yeah, of course. How could I forget?
Somebody's barbecuing outside. I've got my window open. Whatever they're barbecuing is gross. I mean, how do you fuck up a barbecue?
That's a good question. You don't.
Like, whatever sauce or whatever the fuck you're using is just not good. Have you ever had your window open and the weird barbecue gets started to the point where you're like, what plastic is melting? What in my computer is overheating? Like, and it's it's just somebody's gross barbecue. Never mind.
I've never had, like, an experience where barbecue smelled gross. That takes a special kind of fucky-wucky.
Yeah, I don't know.
That takes exceptional stupidity to fuck up.
Like, it smells like they're burning plastic, but it also smells vaguely food-like, so I'm assuming? Like, I don't know.
Maybe someone actually accidentally left the plastic container of Tupperware that they were using to marinate whatever they were gonna barbecue.
And they just put the whole Tupperware thing on the grill?
Well, okay, so you get those Clark Griswold types where they're just like, oh, I'm just gonna put that down there, and they forget that they actually turned on the grill and that it's, like...
Right.
hot.
Yeah, right.
And they're like, and then they're like, they notice it halfway through their grilling spree. Like, half the kebabs are done. The other half of the kebabs that are not done are slowly getting access to the grill as the plastic melts from the bottom.
You mean you're supposed to remove the styrofoam tray and the plastic from the top with the chicken?
Yeah.
Oh.
Believe it or not. Meatless barbecuing. That's another possibility, is you're getting the aroma of tofu barbecue. Maybe. I don't know. I've never actually grilled tofu. I have deep fried it, and that was a disaster that I will not repeat.
Yeah, it could be meatless barbecuing, Snoopy. It's possible. They've got some Beyond Beef or whatever the fuck it's called. I remember an episode of The Simpsons where Barney and Homer and Moe, they're all at Moe's bar.
Right.
And they're smoking cigars in celebration of something. I can't remember what it was. And Homer makes some statement, and Barney says, I agree with Homer, but I disagree with the gremlin growing out of his back. And Moe says, Barney, you're supposed to take the plastic wrapper off the cigar first.
That's one of those series that I wish I had been allowed to watch as, you know, a young adolescent. growing into awareness.
Simpsons was great. Like back in the day, it was on the rerun channel that I watched it on. It was fucking fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, it
They had,
was.
they had a block of like a 2-hour block, like 4 episodes. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was one of those shows that I wasn't allowed to watch as a kid. That and SpongeBob. So you make a SpongeBob reference, I'm entirely lost. But I don't feel any less.
Neither do I. I didn't. I mean, I could have watched SpongeBob. I just, good taste got in my way, so I didn't.
Oh yeah, what were you watching as a kid, other than Simpsons?
Simpsons, the greatest animated anything of all time, Looney Tunes.
I agree.
Actually, somebody mentioned earlier, Lion Patriot did. Have you ever seen the cartoon with Daffy trying to sell Porky home insurance? No.
No.
I mean, maybe I did at one point, but I don't recall it. But I want to see it. That would be hilarious.
So did you watch Looney Tunes on Cartoon Network, or did you watch it on Boomerang?
Cartoon Network.
Okay. Because I watched it on Boomerang predominantly. Because
it's interesting how cartoons that were made in the 50s and whatnot and the 60s for adults to play before movies, if you know what I mean, as cartoon shorts, ended up being so appealing to kids. Why it's and written to adults, right?
Right.
It's almost like most things that are written to children are written, the writers are writing down to them. Well, these are stupid kids and they don't understand anything, so we better
Yeah.
dumb this right the fuck down.
That's what really annoys me about modern day child focused cartoons. Okay, now I'm not saying like you're a 2-year-old and you're watching the Backyardigans, because that's for 2-year-olds. And it's intended for 2-year-olds because it's less about the messaging than it is about the stimulus, because that's a big part of cartooning for kids as well, is the stimuli that they're, or the
that I
actual,
get,
like
for
visual
pretty young-
aspect and the
it's shapes and colors and songs and whatnot, and I
Right.
get that. That's great. That's the level that partially the level that Sesame Street operates at,
right.
which is why Sesame Street, before it started having trans Muppets, was great.
Yes, but like
Because kids are not able to wrap their heads around the concepts that you're attempting to wokenize them on. Like, you understand that, right? It's like, no, they don't. They really don't.
they don't understand. They're not on the up and up, like with social issues to that degree. The higher level concept of what does it mean to be a woman escapes them, and you're gonna have more success with lower level morality.
You're doing
concepts.
this on a show where you literally end the show with saying this episode was sponsored by the letter B and the number 7.
Right.
I mean, this is where you're attempting to, have gay characters and whatnot, and just to impart the notion of complex social relationships. Like, are there even any married couples at all on Sesame Street? Like male, female, whatever the fuck. Like I said, like the complexity of social relationships, is that even a thing? I think they've got baby Muppets because kids know there's such a thing as babies in the world, right? They're aware of that.
Right.
But I mean,
right. Well,
I remember watching the clip where they were talking about the Black Lives Matter one, where they were talking about people protesting. It's like, you're trying to impart the notion of civil protest to children?
Right. Well, the concept of marriage is just basically, okay. Marriage is more of a social manifestation, or a social, how do I want to phrase this? So kids see their parents. They recognize their parents as mom and dad, an entity that is a partnership that they depend upon. But they don't recognize it as a marriage. They recognize it as a union, as two people that love each other, and an example of love that they can, look to as an example of presumably, this doesn't always happen. It certainly didn't happen in my case. But like an example of people working together for their benefit. Or at least the benefit of the family unit. The family unit. But they don't actually register what a marriage is until a lot later in life. And that is, a marriage is like a legal binding contract between those two parties that ensures that their emotional union is more than just emotional, if that makes any sense.
I mean, fucktards, this is like, didn't two human characters get married on Sesame Street? You know what? If they did, and I wouldn't be like surprised if they did, I'm willing to bet it was presented in a very particular way, like simplistic. You know what I mean? Like the notion of like, for richer or poor, for like the particulars of vows and whatnot were kind of absent from there, and understandably so.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly the notions of, well, these two men are getting married, and it's the same as two women getting married, because if one of you gets very sick, you've got visitation rights at the hospital, and it's like, oh my God, who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
Right. But like, kids don't give a shit whether or not two people are married in any capacity, for any couples of any ilk, right? I certainly didn't when my dad moved in with his girlfriend, my ex-stepmom, before they were actually married. My mother gave a shit, and she gave an awful lot of shit about it to everyone and all of the people. And me personally, I was just like, why do you care about this, Mom? They love each other. They want to move in together. It's fine. I guess it was important to her that two people who were in a relationship not moving with each other until they were married, and that was like a big hang up for her. But it's like, it doesn't matter. And for kids, it doesn't matter to them until they're given like a reason for it to matter to them, and that is an external reason. But to them, it's literally just two people in an emotional existence with each other. Anyway, how did we go from Looney Tunes to gay marriage? I don't know. How do we get to some of the topics that we talk about?
Free-form conversation, that's how.
Yeah, that's the beauty of undirected and unencumbered conversation. But I don't mind it at all.
But, you know, I totally agree. Living in sin is fine.
I'm doing it right now. Obviously, I don't give a shit.
You know what? We're gonna. Oh, that sucks.
What?
I'm having volumation problems on my computer.
Is that like in Bigination, where you're having trouble turning up volume and turning down volume?
Yeah. Okay,
For me or you?
Sure. I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Isn't tight. Does that sandwich taste good the second time?
Oh God, why'd you say that? That made it gross.
Because it sounded like that.
It was fine before, but you made it weird.
Do you want me to screen share this?
I do.
Okay, give me 1 sec to figure out how the fuck to do that.
Yeah, actually, I don't know how, so you're gonna have to figure that out.
Give me a second.
Pop the screen out and then. Like, it'll come through your desktop audio as long as you've got the audio component of it will come through your desktop audio, right?
Yes, but like, I didn't have this set up for this. I'm sorry. Is it Discord window capture that I have this for? Discord.
So this is a clip for The Sopranos, and Tony opens up the fridge and says, "What the fuck?" and closed captions reads it his local Mitch.
Is it this one? Okay, it is this one. By the way, you can see all of your tabs that are open, by the way.
Actually, I'm watching what you're sharing. No, you can't. It's cropping them out. It's fine.
Oh. Do I need to see the rest of it, or is this good?
No.
Okay.
I mean, like, there's Cocktail Hour, and before that is Belinda Delvic, and before that is a page from Logitech, Before I was a page from Amazon, another one from Amazon, another one from Logitech.
Right.
DuckDuckGo, search for
So
Logitech.
it's not like hot anime girls XXX.
Well, the hentai is when I scroll over. That's where the hentai
naturally,
is.
right? Okay. I always pegged you as
Yeah.
Come with for all the anime that you watch chronically.
Yeah. I was enjoying this earlier on. This was you got the snort. Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, just the thought amuses
I was watching
me.
some Belinda Bedakovic.
Bedakovic?
Yeah. A little earlier for
What's going on? Her facial I'm scared. How did you get to this point in YouTube?
so awful.
She's not actually playing the keyboard. I don't think. I think she's doing the instrumental equivalent of lip singing. Probably I'm scared.
There's wondrous things on YouTube. If you go looking, you can just.
I'm curious to know how many of our viewers are also scared.
She's got lots of videos up. This one, The Power of Space, is particularly good, I thought.
Wait, I need to see the comments. Loving that green screen.
Oh, it's just top quality production.
Right.
You like her crushed velvet dress? You like that?
I am actually a big fan of velvet as a texture. Big fan. So yes, the answer is yes.
God, it's like she's right on the beach.
What's the one fabric that you want to always wear to the beach? Corduroy velvet. I'm gonna go with velvet. She was given two options. She looks so happy. I'm so happy for her. But can someone please, like, hop in and just, like, take the hair and take it out of her face hole? Because it looks like she's got hair stuck in her mouth. And that's gotta be annoying, you know?
Oh, hell yeah. Own it.
I want to see an edit with her playing, like, some 80s hairband song.
Yeah.
With the same energy. Because this is too... It's too mellow for the kind of energy that she's bringing to her dancing. You know?
I don't think that she can play music per se. I think that she is just, everything is improvisational that I've seen.
Right.
Like she's just going, it's just with like a Casio keyboard pre-programmed drum beat playing behind it.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I was watching. This is the quality content that I get up to.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the clip that I wanted to show you from The Sopranos.
Right.
This is one of the funniest moments I thought in the entire series, just because it's so well written and so well acted. I love it.
Mocha mix?
I was looking forward to fresh blueberries.
It's so quiet. But Mom hasn't shocked. Mom hasn't shopped, is what she said. I might as well turn off the closed captioned. I mean.
Yeah, you don't even need them.
Okay.
What are you doing hanging around here?
Finn asked me into the city to see a movie, but then I didn't want to go, and I told him he could go if he wanted to, and he went.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Don't give it to me, okay?
No.
Problems with her boyfriend.
Womp womp.
He doesn't fucking get it.
He doesn't get it.
I don't even know what he's thinking lately. He spends more time at Jeffrey's apartment than with me.
Tony's like, yeah, all right.
You know it's really good to talk to about stuff.
Not me.
Your mother.
Oh.
While you're off together, I've seen such a selfish side. I'll come back early. He said that. He actually said that.
My hot pocket's done.
Yeah.
This is El Boyfriendo with her future daughter over any relationship drama she's got. You know who's really good to talk to about this? Your mother.
I mean, you did say
I'll go get her.
Or maybe subconsciously he's done.
Do I need to break his knees?
We sleep together at Jeffrey's apartment, and Ben sleeps on the floor half the time, and I'm right there for him.
Okay, well, honey, when you're living in sin with some guy, you can't expect
Living in
him to
what? Jesus Christ.
The Lord's name in vain.
talk to your mother about this shit.
It's how quickly it completely breaks from where it was before. It's like, well, look, when you're living in sin with some guy, you're living in
Excuse me.
How
How dare you?
Away, and he's like, talk to your mother about this shit. I don't know. I thought that scene was so well written and acted because, I mean, here's this guy who, like, would kill somebody who would hurt his daughter.
Right.
But in terms of, like, you know, making her feel better, having to hear about feelings, he is completely unable to interact in any kind of effective way. It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Like, I am not the emotional support human for you.
Especially because the particular things that she's talking about, right? Oh, he sleeps on the floor, and I'm right there for him. And of course, she's reading into this whole thing that, you know, maybe he's just done with us. I don't know.
Yeah.
Women.
Hey,
I
I am one of those.
Ooh. Don't ever mistake it. Garter belts are awesome.
I guess.
They are.
Oh,
I think,
you wait.
I think
You would know, like, as in you've worn them before.
no, I have seen them worn.
Mm-hmm.
I've snapped a garter belt or two in my time,
Mm-hmm.
which is great fun.
Do you know
It
how
is true.
uncomfortable it is to sit with, like, little buckles attached to your stockings, though?
Not if you get the right sized ones, as I'm told.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to go shopping for the right size ones then. Been doing it all wrong my entire life.
Well,
Not entire life. The one time that I tried it.
Lion Patriot, thank you for the $5 and a sexy Jessica Alba. Later, homos, I'm off to play. Well, Jesus, I'm later to play.
Well, we were late and gay.
You're like, no shit. I'm off to play 7 Days to Die on Satsu's channel, and then the link to Satsu Cents Plus, or 2 Cents Plus. That was the name of Satsu's gaming channel. So by all means, yeah, check it out
Indeed.
after the stream. After. And then Far donated the $16.50. Do we get to see more Keytar Lady? I have this intuition about me that Far donated specifically $16.50 because she thought the regular donations were on, not the Noir Bar donations. I find it hard to believe that Far just really wanted to see the Garter Lady in her negligee. No,
Wait, so what's
sweat.
the regular $16.50 then?
I believe it's plug and play Hummingbird.
Oh. Well, how do you not know off the top of your head? Aren't they your donations?
Well, you know, they kind of have piled up over time. I'm not really sure what 1650 is, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to switch over to that one, and we're going to play it.
Yeah, she did want the
Pretty-
plug and play Hummingbird. She feels cheated now, so this is
Ah.
good.
Okay, so here's plug and play Hummingbird, Weebo. that adorable?
That's so cute. Hummingbirds are by far the cutest of the birds, in my opinion.
People have tried to convince me that's a woodpecker, and I remain unconvinced. I think it's a hummingbird.
Oh yeah, there are two different birds with obnoxiously long beaks.
Yeah, and it's like, maybe there are woodpeckers that look like that. Not where I live, though. I've never seen one. I've seen plenty of woodpeckers, but that's not at all what they look like. They'd snap their fucking beak off if they tried pummeling a tree with that thing. I think that was a hummingbird that was trying to get in at the sap that was in a crack of the tree and got stuck.
Yeah.
And the guy came along and started going, swat, swat, bat, bat, you know?
As one does.
Yeah.
You ever have a bird, like, okay, so you're sitting down, you're minding your own business, and then the window, all of a sudden you hear a thud, and a bird just smacks into the window and knocks itself unconscious, basically? Because that's happened more than a few times to me, and I'm starting to wonder if, like, there's something about me that attracts birds to be stupid? Because it happens, like, with more frequency than I think it should.
I've heard of it happening, and I've seen people point out birds smack stains on windows. Like, that's where the bird hit, and like, Jesus, like, you know,
Right.
But I've never actually been present when a bird impacted said window. No.
Yeah, it happens way too often around me, and I'm starting to think if it's, like, somehow my fault. Like, it's not a coincidence, I don't think. No, it's just you. Okay, so, yeah, it is just me. It's my fault. I'm the one killing all these birds. Or knocking them unconscious. They go, commit, die. Is this something about me? Is this something that I said? Yeah, no, that happened literally yesterday while I was eating dinner at a restaurant.
No shit.
I was eating with a whole bunch of other people, but
I didn't have the comments up, or the chat up.
Yeah.
When I was playing the guitar lady, Belinda Kosovic.
Yep. That's how you say that.
Yeah. Or the Sopranos clip. So, but I just brought it back up, and Zed Hero said, "This reminds me of hurdy-gurdy music. Polly, do you like the hurdy-gurdy?" The hurdy-gurdy is a very interesting instrument. If you're bored or just like good documentary material, Frederick Nunson, the guy who does Down the Rabbit Hole, he did an entire video on the hurdy-gurdy, and of course, because he's an awesome oddball, he owns and plays the hurdy-gurdy, and it's just worth hearing him run down the history of that strange, bizarre, unique instrument and just sort of talk about it. And somehow he makes the history of an instrument come across very much like a creepypasta.
That's an interesting talent to have.
Yeah.
The hurdy-gurdy, that's the one with the, like, rotating thingy, right?
Yeah, it's got the hand crank on one side, and then the strings, they're the keys on the top. Yeah, it's out there, man. I would say it's more kerfuffly than the organ or the accordion is.
Right.
The accordion is strange. It's got keys and bellows and buttons and whatnot, and so it's kind of strange.
This is
like the concertina, you know. But then there we go. Whereas the hurdy-gurdy, you'd think is just a guitar until you see somebody start to turn the hand crank, and you're like, what the fuck?
It is quite interesting. And it looks cumbersome. Could you rock it, Polly?
Well, I could rock anything with respect. You know, you could give me a fucking ukulele with a fucking violin bow, and I'd make it look cool.
I don't actually think that the violin bow would be capable of making a sound with the ukulele, unless the ukulele strings were made out of metal as opposed to it's not a plastic. But it's like a fiberglass. Because the thing about the violin bow, and I happen to be a little bit of an expert on the subject as a violinist since I was like 2. But the thing about the violin,
you're a fiddler.
I'm a fiddler. I'm a little bit of a fiddler. Just a little bit. It's been a minute, but yes, a little bit. The thing about the violin bow is that what grabs onto the string and makes noise is the friction against the bow hair, which is horsehair.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
the what is it called? The rosin that you apply to the bow hair to make it stick to the string that it is, the noise that it's making, based off of the tension in the string. The more you know.
Oh God. Something just occurred to me.
What?
Horsehair. So there has to be vegan bowstrings, right? Like there are.
Let's find out.
Yeah, I just duck goat it, and it's like Jesus Christ. Of course they are. There's a site
Virgin.
string magazine. The search for the vegan violin.
Vegan violin. I like how I'm looking up vegan bowstring and it comes up with a bow and arrow, and I'm like, that seems counterintuitive.
Yeah. Well, I love the idea. It's like, well, I can't use any animal products. It's like, you know what? I don't know if you know this, but the horse survived.
None of the violin or its bow would probably be vegan friendly, based off of this infographic here, because we have the glue is used by animal byproducts, the gut strings in some cases, animal intestines, the bow tip is made of ivory, bow hair is horse hair from the tail, the thumb grip is tanned, like literally none of it is vegan friendly.
Perfect.
The
So
bow
what you need to do,
eye-
Weebo, is that the next vegan protest that you find out that's happening somewhere near your
Bring my
locality, go down with your violin and start playing it. And they're going to be, what are you doing? I'm playing on animal corpses. And they're going to be, what? And describe all of that to them in detail. Every part of the instrument I have is from the corpse of an animal. And I love it.
Well, here's the
Listen to the sounds of animal cruelty.
Here's the thing. Even if you got yourself a vegan violin and a vegan bow, it probably wouldn't sound as good because the materials used in crafting the actual instruments, the bow and the violin, help to create that sound that you're looking for, right? And it's not just the resonance from the wood, it's not just the resonance from the strings, it's not just the sound you're producing by dragging the bow across the strings. It's a combination of all of these things, and all of these things in combination create that perfect sound. I don't know if are you familiar with famous violins?
Not by name, no.
Okay. So like the most famous violin that you could possibly have is one called a Stradivarius, made by a violin maker called, I believe, Stradivarius. That would make sense. I'm not like super on the up and up, but I know things. But for forever, people have been trying to recreate exactly that sound that you get with a Stradivarius violin because it is so beautiful. But they can't because of, for whatever reason, they think it is the wood that Stradivarius used is so very particular that not one person who creates violins nowadays has been able to actually replicate that sound using any other type of lumber.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Super fascinating stuff. I definitely do not have a Stradivarius. I'm just gonna put that out there. And even if I did, I probably wouldn't play it, like, very well. To, the chagrin of my aunt, who was my violin teacher for many years. I'm a little bit out of practice. And also, I was never that great of a violinist. I mean, I was decent. I have several trophies. But I was not that great. Compared to my cousins and my brother, I was not great.
I still play with the idea of picking up an instrument. The trumpet, I would like to play.
Yeah?
I would like to learn to play the blues trumpet, yes.
I can see it. It's probably one of the easier brass instruments to learn, I believe.
You think so?
Yes. Probably. Because it's not a trombone or bassoon. You don't have to like. Okay, so
Seems
with
woodwind, isn't it?
is it a bassoon? Maybe I'm thinking like the big ones.
That'd be a tuba.
A tuba. That's the one that I'm thinking of. So the reason why it would be the easiest is because it's the smallest. You have to pass less air to get sound, or a louder sound. So there's less effort involved in it than say if you were to pass air through a tuba. You have a lot further to go and a lot more to do.
Right. So I mean, there's a number of reasons why the blues trumpet. One, because it sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Two, because while learning it, I would be able to open my windows and torture my neighbors, which is, of course, delightful.
Of course, naturally.
I mean, your barbecue sucks. Here, listen to a guy trying to learn to play the trumpet.
Hot cross buns.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and it wouldn't even be doot to the doot. It'd just be like, a dying duck, while you're trying to get a consistent note and tone out of it,
right.
Mm-hmm. But three, and most importantly, it fits with my lifestyle. Like the blues trumpet with the muter on it, where wah, 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 wah,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd be able to express my sadness and disappointment in my life through music.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah. That sort of thing, yeah.
That thing, yeah.
And I could do that during live streams. I could,
Bust out your trumpet.
Yeah.
Bust a note.
Do you know how to play anything that isn't depressing?
No,
I
don't.
That aren't depressing?
Well, the trumpet is the happier of the instruments in terms of the brass, I believe, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, like you can't play the Saints Go Marching In without there's plenty of.
Right.
The only songs that I would want to that aren't like bluesy that I would be very interested in learning how to play would be stuff from film scores. There's a lot of French horns that you get that are going on in flight music, as it's called in film scores. Where somebody's being chased or doing chasing,
right?
Flight towards or flight away from something, so they call it flight music. Those are the best. A lot of that whole thing, and then you go,
right,
awesome.
I like the French one.
Or the Alan Silvestri's score for Captain America: The First Avenger. I have a lot of trumpet in it. Captain America's theme song is mostly played with trumpet, and it's epic.
Right.
Yeah. So fuck yeah.
The trumpet
I'd be all over that
seems like
shit.
a happy instrument to me. Like there are specific instruments that you think of when you think of sad instrument.
Oh god, taps. Daniel Fullman mentions. Yeah. Heartbreaking. Oh my god,
that was the thing that made me cry at my grandfather's funerals when they played taps. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I wasn't crying up until that point. Here's my entire family, all like 9 other members of the family, being ushered out with me in tow, and I'm the only one with a dry face. And then we get to sit at the front, and the service starts, and I'm still dry-eyed, and they're saying all these great things about my grandfather, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not crying? And then finally Taps plays, and I'm like, there it goes. So I don't know what it was. I guess I just have a mental... It didn't register with me till...
And it is. It's true. It's a bugle. But you can play it with a trumpet. You can,
No. Bad. Don't do it.
I mean, there's the pan flute. I keep trying to push Zelthor to pick up the pan flute.
Yeah. Are you just trying to, create a boy band?
Because pan flutes are so synonymous with boy bands?
They could be. You could revolutionize the whole industry, Polly. You don't know.
Yeah. The other horn that I would be really interested in, the big curl ones that go all the way around their shoulder and come up over the other side. Right. You know what I mean? They got a name. I can't remember what it is, but yeah.
Thank you for your patronage.
Yay. Let me navigate to that
Did the stream go down, Weebo?
No, I think it's still up. It's just buffering.
Is it called a sousaphone, Trimble?
Is it? No, that sounds like a Dr. Seussism.
No. A sousaphone is a full-on instrument. Absolutely, I've definitely heard of it. I don't know specifically what it is. Is that
No, that's not a real instrument.
Roman horn, whatever the hell it's called?
It doesn't exist.
The big curly bastard. I mean, because you can, like I said, if you're gonna play a weird horn, like, play that thing, man. I mean, sitting on your porch playing that, you're gonna, that's a bitch magnet right there. You're gonna have women walking up, and it's totally not though. Yeah.
So thank you the next 6 minutes who donated to say, thanks for being awesome, Weebs. Last 96 hours have been hell, but things seem to be getting better day by day. Weeb's support has been well appreciated. So many high fives. I'll crouch down a little to meet you halfway or stand in a box. Either way works. Well, now I regret all the support I gave you over the weekend. Fuck you. I'm just kidding. I'm glad that things are looking up. And I hope things continue to go in that direction, Sixy. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oatsan says it keeps cutting out. And Alforn, or again, Trimble with the.
Let me check the stream health.
Yeah, it's a sousaphone.
It says the stream is healthy. So I don't know.
Far is saying that she'd like to learn the accordion. Far, you don't get.
Oh shit.
What?
Boy band, here we go. Let's do this. Far on the accordion.
I'm saying, like, what is the wisdom of the Panzer of the Lake? Learn to play the instrument you have before you get another. You have an automaton to learn, Far.
She has an automaton?
She has an automaton.
What is an automaton, first off?
Hold
on.
I didn't know what an automaton was before she bought one in Japan and brought it all the way back home and then put it under her desk.
And never touched it ever again?
Well, I'm assuming occasionally it comes out, but
this isn't an instrument. This is like a.
No, it's an instrument.
No, it's
not.
an
instrument.
No,
yes, it is. No, it's an instrument.
This isn't an instrument. This is a cute little thing that you have in your household.
Excuse me?
Not you, but like.
No, you can play it. People like have whole video. You should hear.
Don't.
My Heart Will Go On in automaton. It is breathtaking.
Don't bullshit me.
Look it up. I could share my screen, but you can just look it up on yours.
Okay, fine.
If you're using DuckDuckGo, you could just hit like exclamation mark YT, and then whatever you search automatically searches on YouTube. You could hit exclamation mark A, and it automatically searches Amazon. Another advantage to DuckDuckGo.
Anyway, so we're gonna watch this cover of Hallelujah, which happens to be the song that got me my spot in my a cappella group in college, by the way. So
Hallelujah from Handel's Messiah?
Is that where it's from, like, originally? Because I think I've only ever heard covers of it.
But Hallelujah, Hallelujah. That one?
Oh, no, not that one.
Okay.
No, like, Shrek Hallelujah.
Oh, fucking hell.
Which is the song that everyone covers.
Yeah, okay, alright, fine. No, that's fine.
There you go. Can you hear it?
No.
Okay, give me one sec.
Bubble.
Alright, I'm gonna put in poly image dump. Just for you. There you go. Enjoy.
Alright, thank you.
And we'll start it over whenever you're ready.
Yep,
watch it at the
go
same
ahead.
time.
Oh, we're gonna watch it at the same time.
Well, I want you to listen to it too.
Well, I do want to listen to it too. I don't understand why you can't just play it so I can hear it. What the hell?
I don't know how to do that!
A fine seamstress you are.
What?
Streamstress.
Oh, I get it. I see.
You see what I did there? Coined in 3,
2, 1.
Play.
We gotta synchronize our watches, Polly.
Yeah.
It's got a face, Polly. Any instrument that has a face doesn't count as an instrument.
That's one of the best parts of it.
No, it's not. I can't take it seriously. That's not what it's...
What? Where's the sound? There we go.
I can't. No. This is so powerful, Polly.
Don't say it. Don't tell me the automaton isn't an instrument. You can.
It's not an instrument. I refuse. I disagree vehemently.
No, the harder you squeeze the face and where you put your fingers along the top, it changes its tone. It is full on an instrument.
It is a squeaky toy. Don't give me that bullshit.
If the triangle counts as an instrument, the automaton has to.
This is a squeaky toy.
Dog can't play an automaton.
It probably could make the automaton squeak. Would you believe people compare it to a violin? Bar! You're gonna trigger the fuck out of me! I'm gonna have an aneurysm! As someone who, at one point in their life, was an avid musician, the insinuation that this squeak toy is on the same level as the thing that I slaved over for 2 hours a day in my youth, every day, including Saturdays and Sunday. The fact that you would insinuate that it is even a little bit close to that thing that I cried, sweat, and bled over, that I developed fingertip calluses over. The fact that it is being compared to my struggle is insulting and offensive, and I disagree with all of my being. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, anyway. Oh, go away. Heavy metal blind auditions on The Voice. Rocket Man next. Nope, that's the end of that. Not happening.
Next for me was Ave Maria on an automaton. And they've got him inside a Catholic church with like a black glove over his hand, so it looks like it's just the automaton standing up by the altar singing.
Disgusting.
Well, what are you talking about? This is wildly creative. I mean, it's got 1.2 million views. There's a skill set that's involved here. I don't understand.
Says Weebo's right. This isn't on the same level as a violin. It's on a much higher level than a violin. You know, I'm all for free speech and all, kids, but that might just be a bannable offense. I'm just kidding. I'm having a bit of a tailspin. Can you tell? Internet's no bueno. I'm sorry. I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it. Actually, I thought that this would have been one of the best quality streams that I have ever done from my computer this fine evening, as El Boyfriendo is not even here to throttle my bandwidth. Alright? So...
Is that what they're calling it now?
Bandwidth? Throttle?
El Boyfriendo is not here to throttle my bandwidth. That sounded like a euphemism.
It's not. Well,
I
mean, it could be, but... I'll have you know that I would never in a million years get caught live on the air having someone else throttle my bandwidth.
Yeah, what am I, a Twitch thought? What
Exactly.
the fuck?
Oh my god, that happened twice with the same girl. Did you hear that?
I did, but what... Okay, so what I heard from Critical, from Charlie,
Right.
is that when he was talking about a bunch of the dramasisms that were happening on Twitter, because apparently there's been a mudslide of them over the past week, and he just kind of he did a 15-minute video where he ramshot through all of them, you know, and it were going on. And he said the Twitch thought that had fucked before, there was a rumor, and it turns out that it was a rumor, that this was part of the extended clip, that the video that went viral of her getting banged was a short clip of the overall length of it, and somebody had the longer version of it, and they took that clip at the end and said, this woman is getting banged. She did it again. Oh my god. And it's like, no, it's from the same video. You can tell.
No,
and it's like, oh.
no, I thought it was
I don't know. That's, like I said, that's
because
what
it looked
Charlie
different.
said.
It wasn't the same.
I haven't seen it. I just heard that reference that she did it again, and then Charlie was saying that like no, and so I was like, okay,
Oh, she got banged.
yeah.
Like her
But
face
both.
is on camera.
Zed actually both.
Oh,
Because
she got
banged. And then banned, as Twitter uses that term, because usually banned means a permanent status, but in Twitter she was banned or on Twitch she was banned for a week,
She
a
was
solid week.
suspended basically for a week.
Yeah,
for having
like,
sex on stream.
why don't you use the word suspended? Well, because we're a major corporation. If any news entertainer happens to like catch wind of all of the ridiculous fucking shit that we let happen on this open, like, why are there girls in mini play pools in thong bikinis with not water in the pool but baby oil? And this is a video game streaming service? What the
It
fuck?
was. Now it's not, obviously, but
Right. It's
right.
like, but it's why was this going on for the longest time? And then somebody, I would love to see somebody from like top level Twitch owned by Amazon, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
asked about that, where it's it's like, well, did this person get kicked off for doing this? No, we just established a new policy where you can't do that. Oh, really? How about one of your most popular streamers, in the form of Hassan Piker, saying that America had 9/11 coming, that Mujahideen fucked a current member of Congress in his eye hole, and the Mujahideen was the true patriot, et cetera, et cetera. Like, what resulted from that? Well, he was banned. Really? So he's not on the service anymore? I thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, when we say banned, we mean short term, because we
For
have
like 2
redefined that term.
minutes.
Yeah, and he was gone for a whopping 48 hours for that.
Right.
Really? Really? Did you get rid of all the white supremacists? Absolutely, they're gone and they'll never be back.
You
Well,
know-
what's a white supremacist? Anyone who's a conservative or supports the GOP or mentioned anything about vaccinations that weren't 100% positive.
You know who got banned from Twitch that I don't think personally didn't deserve to get banned? Like, it was a perma ban, not just a ban for 2 minutes ban. It was a perma. They can't be on the platform. And if you even, like, platform them as not them, but, like, if you host them on your Twitch, you get banned as well. Is Destiny, from what I understand, got banned for, first off, I think he said something about January 6ers. Or no. He said something about rioters during the Summer of Love getting mowed down in the streets, and that he was like totally okay with it. Rioters specifically, not protesters. Rioters, he said specifically. He didn't have a problem with that. And then the other thing I think happened to be it was a trans issue related thing, and I'm not 100% sure if it was an HRT for trans kids issue or if it was a different trans issue. But it was a trans issue. Those are the two things, I guess, that he got booted off the platform for, like, permanently. And that was funny to me. Or not funny, but interesting, considering that is not the worst thing that has ever happened. Kaffles got him banned? Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, Keffels has done a number on Necrocada, was just brought up in chat.
Mhm.
Yeah, that by Zed Hero, and it's yeah, she did a number on him as well because, and it was interesting. Sinatra brought up Keffels, and then Drunkle was like, "What's a Keffels?" Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, you lucky man," you know. You don't know.
I'm actually blocked by Keffels on Twitter.
Are you?
I've
For all
never-
I know, I am. I've never gone and looked.
I know this because I've seen some of the Keffels drama be quote tweeted, and I'm not able to see it because I'm blocked. And that wasn't always the case, and I've never interacted directly with Keffels. But I guess she block happy, or maybe she just uses block bots, because people do that a lot.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a blockchain of whoever is sub to whoever who is that. Yeah, if you're sub to a certain number of people, then you're. It's like when we were doing comic book curation, I ended up, because of people that I was following, being blocked by a whole fuck ton of comic book creators and other people online, and it was like, I've never tweeted at you or liked or disliked or retweeted or anything, any content from your your Twitter whatsoever. How the fuck? And is it with blockchain? It became really popular amongst the anti-comics gay people.
Yeah.
Next 6 minutes. Thank you for the $2.42. Sorry, I kind of forgot about that because automaton. Sorry, say.
Right, we got
Um,
distracted with that non-instrument.
No, I'm hearing jealousy
It's not jealousy. Why would I be jealous of something that's a squeaky toy?
because somebody put in more effort on the squeaky toy than your forgotten and lonely violin
More effort, my fucking ass.
in the past few
alright?
years, because this person kept up with their squeaky toy.
Oh, you mean on like the actual thingy itself as opposed to the creation of the thingy. Okay.
I think you're jealous at his effort.
I could
Well, envious,
sing that
envious
song.
would be
I
the
could
right
sing all those songs way better than that squeaky toy could ever belt them out. All right.
Yeah, but that's an instrument. That person could sing while playing the squeaky toy. Think about that.
The voice is
I mean,
an
it's
instrument.
fine. I'm saying indulge in your envy. It's fine. It's human.
So what you're saying
I watch Barely Sociable and cuss the man out, and I love his content. It's called envy. It's fine.
No, so what you're saying is that I should use this to show that the automaton is actually not a great instrument by busting out my violin again and like dusting it off and actually like
Yes, use it.
doing the thing. Well,
Let the envy flow through you. Yes.
I do feel kind of bad because my grandma got that violin for me and it was an expensive violin and I don't use it. I just have it. She's like, I'm getting all of my grandchildren a violin. It's happening. She insisted upon it. So now I have a violin that I don't play. Does that make me feel guilty? Yes, it does.
Turn that envy into becoming a Carnegie Hall automaton playlist. Yeah. Before I forget again, next 6 minutes, thank you for the $2.42. Hey man, the minions have been amazing the last few days. AAA stream has also helped me through some very tense hours where I was checking my phone every 5 minutes for news. Good or bad? Bro hugs, man. Hey, up top, high five. No problem.
Self high five.
And the confusion of doing a 4-hour noir bar on Friday. I hope you caught some of that because I don't know. I just hit start streaming, and the next thing I know, Far was like, we're reaching the 4-hour mark, and I'm like, what? And yeah.
You just like checked out for 4 hours?
No, I was there the whole time. I was
Right.
just rambling and rolling,
Well, that's how these things typically go.
Yeah, that's how you know you're talking to fun people.
Exactly. You can just talk for hours and hours and hours, and it's
No, so there's an advantage.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah,
easy.
it flows.
Effortless.
It's effortless. It's organic.
Yeah.
You after it's over, you don't feel like going outside and touching grass, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Like it's like, oh my god, this was awful. It's yeah.
Oh, that was such an effort. I had to do that. Yeah, no, I don't get
Yeah,
that.
I actually don't know if it was baby oil or olive oil. I've never actually seen one of them kid pool streamer bikini girl, whatever the fuck.
He
I've
just
never.
knows that it exists.
Yeah, I've seen screenshots of people when they were doing videos saying this is what is going on Twitch. This is what it's evolved to,
Yeah.
or devolved to. And really, the point that they were making in the videos that I saw were not like that this shouldn't be happening. It's just that create a space where there's something happening and the hoe's going to show up. So it's not that women are hoes. It's not the point that they were making. It's just have a comic book convention or a nerd convention of any sort going on where costuming up becomes a thing to the point where it develops its own name, cosplay.
Yep.
You're going to have the hoes will show up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Is it a bad thing, though? I mean, because, like...
Well, there's the question, right? Is that even a bad thing? Well, it's distracting from the thing. Some people argue, other people argue, but you don't have to look if you don't want to. And then it turns into this whole thing is that me dressed in a metal bikini is not consent to touch me. It blah, blah, blah. It turns into this whole thing because some, like, creepy dude who doesn't understand personal space will end up, like, copping a feel or whatever the fuck.
Oh, that's more Twitch drama.
Yeah.
Right there. All week. Who doesn't like cosplay? I like cosplay. And you know what? People do it however they want to, and I don't have a problem with it, so long as, they're having fun and they're not being assholes about it.
Come for the comics, stay for the hoes, right?
Right?
That's-
Exactly.
I mean, I don't think it's an accident that they're To me, the most egregious form of it, all right, where you can tell what's going on is a little like, really? Is it they're not picking characters that happen to have
Assets?
like professional cosplayers, and I just did air quotes, where like, you know, they're failed strippers or whatever the fuck. It's like I can get more money by taking pictures with lonely guys, lonely, you know, nerds that have no idea what pussy feels like by standing next to them in a sexy Boba Fett outfit.
Hey, if there's a
And
market.
Well, then that's what I mean. It's like create a space where there's males. The hoes will show up and be like, "Hey, are you willing to pay me to see my body or touch it?" Yep.
I don't see a
Yeah, they'll
problem with
show
it.
up.
Personally, I mean, I wouldn't do it myself, but, like, I don't see a problem with it so long as everyone's consenting and everyone, like, knows what they're getting into, right? So, it's fine.
I mean, I guess so. The idea is, well, what I was saying is the most egregious form of it is not like Snoopy brought up the metal bikini from Princess Leia from Return of the Jedi, and it's like, sure, because that's what she looked like, or it's a cat suit because male and female superheroes wear tights. That tights and superheroes is just
Right.
a fucking thing, right? So there's you know, or you know, Power Girl with the boob window on her shirt. You know what I mean? Like, sure.
Right.
Okay, but when you take Boba Fett's outfit and you turn it into sexy Boba Fett, and it's like, what? Boba Fett was a guy. I don't even understand what you're doing. Like, how did you like cut away most of that outfit to be wearing like thong armor? I don't even understand.
Oh.
It's like, to me that's the form of it where it's like you're just slutifying an existing concept, and it's like, is it a bad thing? No. If I had a girlfriend that was willing to wear that in the bedroom, that'd be great. But I showed up at the comic book convention to buy comics or whatever the fuck, not be distracted by tits and ass. It's like, do I have a problem with tits and ass? No. But if I was going to literally objectify a woman, I'd go to a strip club, or I would hire an escort, or I would get a girlfriend, or I would call my girlfriend, or you understand what I'm saying? That's my take on it.
Get it. I think your take boils down to, like, time and place, essentially. Like, now is
Yeah.
not the time or the place.
I said,
Otherwise.
but you made an argument that is the common one, and it's tough to argue against that position. Everybody's consenting. It's not a problem. So what's your problem?
Right.
You're making a problem where the two people that are involved, i.e. the person paying and the person who's posing or whatever
Right.
for said photograph, neither of them have a problem with it, and you're inserting yourself into it and saying this is a problem. That's tough to argue against, because yeah, what's unreasonable about that? And it's like, okay, fair enough. I would just say, it's okay. Is it wrong? No. But on that same level of, is it reasonable? Is it reasonable for me to call her a hoe who's objectifying herself for money?
Yeah.
No,
That's totally reasonable.
because it's
Yeah.
kind of what you're doing. If you are going to strip down to wearing barely nothing and you're getting money for wearing barely nothing, that's why you're doing it. Don't expect me not to call you a hoe.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, like, that's fair. That's fine.
Yeah, that's the only out that I can figure out of that argument is like, okay, well, I can't tell you not to show up, but I can certainly call you a hoe while you're there.
Right. And, you know, and to each his own. Free speech,
and
free expression.
lest
That's
we
the beauty of
forget
living
fucking
in a free country.
the losers who are paying them, because nothing's sadder than that. They deserve every bit of criticism as the hoes do. If you are paying some girl on Twitch who's pushing 30 and sitting there in a short anime schoolgirl skirt, trying to look like she's 16 when she's pushing 30 in an ooh cutesy room, sitting on a giant pink beanbag with fairy lights behind her and plushy dolls all around, and speaking in a cutesy voice and calling everyone honey and sweetie and so on and so forth, and you're giving this girl money on Twitch, rethink your priorities, rethink your life, get a girlfriend. Jesus Christ, go outside and touch grass.
What makes you think that they haven't exhausted all of those options already, and this is like the final thing that they can come up with to satisfy that urge?
There's porn on the internet for free.
Right.
A cavalcade of it.
Yes.
I-
Yes. But well, like, okay, so I don't know. Are you familiar with the concept of the parasocial relationship, essentially?
Oh hell yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately, yeah.
porn does a lot, but what it doesn't do, at least not always does, is give you that insider look, that parasocial relationship feeling that people crave, right? Because it's not just about the sexual gratification, it's about the emotional gratification too. And if you can bind those all up into one, it's, I'm not saying it's satisfying as a whole, but it's more satisfying than just, the porn on its own.
I hear you, and that's why I say if you have money for Twitch streamers and you're a guy and you're doing what you just named, Weebo, it's interactive and it's sexy and it's interactive, so I like checking in on this person, seeing how they're doing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, there's cam girls. Give your money to them.
Right,
because
but
they've got
They've
got
patronage.
dildos and lube and full on nudity and so on and so forth. And it's like, oh well, that's a little gross. Okay, so here would become my argument: man the fuck up and go the whole 9, or back the fuck off. Just stop giving money to Twitch thoughts. This is my opinion. I'm not saying you have to do it. It's not a command. It's a strongly worded suggestion.
Right. Thank you to the Means of Destruction, who donated 5 to say, "Hi friends, Polly is totally right. That's why I'm giving Weebs money on YouTube. By the way, Polly, don't check Twitter. Love. Thanks."
Girl privilege in action.
Woo!
Live demonstration.
Got him. We love to see it. Anyway, if you would like to indulge in your parasocial relationship with me, there is a link in the description down below.
I don't even think that parasocial relationships are a bad thing in and of themselves. Like
they can be too much. It really depends on the extent to which they go, but
sure,
they have their place in society. I won't deny.
I mean,
as with all things, everything in moderation.
We run this here and on AAA and on Noir Bar. There's a whole group of people that show up, and some people do not like the crowd over at Noir Bar, or over at Noir Bar, but they love the crowd over at AAA,
right? And
vice versa. There's people that watch me do AAA, but then never will show up for a Noir Bar because it's too laid back. It's not fast moving enough. It's Jesus Christ, get on to the next story. And it's like, okay, so the late night chill stream is something you're not down for. That's fine.
We have other
you understand what I'm saying? That's totally fine. I get it. It is a completely different vibe than AAA, and that is on purpose. And I was doing Noir Bar before I did AAA. And there's the parasocial relationship there in terms of we expect to see the same people when we show up in chat that we talk to. Oh, I haven't seen this person and that person and so on and so forth. And they get into conversations before the stream even starts. And then they're saying things and it's interactive. And I enjoy talking to them. And that's fine. Mm-hmm. When it becomes parasitical.
Right. That's when you have a problem. Because then you get things like stalking. Or, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a streamer or like a social influencer, Instagram influencer or whatever, who met up with one of these people in real life, and she actually ended up getting murdered by him. Like, it can go too far. And that's the scary thing.
It goes parasitical in both directions, if you know what I mean.
Right. Like, we have Invader V.
Yeah.
With her $5 commentary in the middle of the pandemic going, "You shouldn't be watching me for free. You should be subbing to me, giving me all of the money. $5 is just $5. It's not that much. It's not, you can spend $5. If you can't, you probably shouldn't be on Twitch. You should probably be out working and making money and supporting," like verbatim, basically. That is what her whole philosophy was. And it was very parasitical because she was preying on her audience, and she got backlash for it.
R and I were talking about this, Invader V, because it's like 2 years ago at this point, but I am still uncertain, as I was saying to Far, what the hell was meant by the comment when she, because that was the one that went viral, was her saying, "See, that doesn't really track, because if you've got the time to sit here and watch Twitch, but you're not subbed, that means you've got the time to go out and get a job." And it's like, oh shit. And what's interesting is that ended up with more subscribers for her, that whole thing.
Right.
Because it just ended, no such thing as bad promotion manifested there. It was, everybody that was criticizing her got content for a hot minute, if you know what I mean, because they were able to play the video and say, "Oh, holy shit, this parasite." But in the end, what ended up happening to her, it wasn't damaging. It was damaging for a second, but overall, 3
Right.
months later, she had more subs than she had before it ever began.
Right.
So, don't tell me it damaged you. The clip that I remember the most from that, and the one that I don't understand what she meant by this, is she said, "I don't know if you guys know this. Keeping in mind, this is a woman who was at the time pushing 30. Now she's over 30. Okay, who's talking like a ditzy 16-year-old dressed like an anime schoolgirl, sitting in the most ooh cutesy setting imaginable. Like her former name being Tyrannosaurus Rex because she wears short skirts. Weebs, get it?
No, because she's always got her thigh highs on.
Yeah. So
That's
she's
part of it. And
Tyrannosaurus
so
Rex.
you can see like her thigh highs and
Yeah.
the thigh area where the thigh and the skirt and the thigh
Forbidden
highs.
sexy.
Right. That
I-
forbidden aspect.
Yeah, but she said, I don't know if you guys know this, but when you donate to me through Streamlabs,
It gives me your name.
it gives me your name. And I look up everybody who donates to me through Google. I Google everybody. And there are some really wealthy people. There's doctors, there's engineers. And I'm like, wow, there's people with lots of money giving me money. And I still, like I said, I still don't know what you meant by that. Was it a ditzy comment and you didn't mean anything by it? You were just talking and you're so fucking stupid that you didn't realize that it came across as really awkward and weird? Was it outright blackmail? I have all of your names, and some of the people that have donated to me, you're a doctor and an engineer and a lawyer or whatever the fuck. Odds are you have a girlfriend or a wife and kids. I'm just saying out loud that I know who you are. Best keep giving to me and more
Right.
of it.
Yeah.
Or was it possibly, and I mean, these are all just possibilities, I don't know, a third alternative of, hey, if you've got lots of money, I stream and I do the parasocial thing. We can totally go into like a private stream if you want to have a conversation. It'll just cost $500 for an hour.
It could be any
Yeah,
of those things.
That's what and one of the common things when I have asked people about this is I just don't think she realized what she was doing. No, she's a smart person.
Yeah,
That is
she's
a
not
total-
unintelligent.
Yeah, that is a complete put on. The thing that she's doing. How do you know? When she did the apology video for,
She dialed it way back.
oh yes,
Like
she dialed it way back. All of the plushies were gone. The fairy lights were gone. It was her just sitting
the
in the
thigh
same
highs
chair.
were gone.
Yeah, you could not see any skin on her legs.
No
And
ponytail.
she sat straight up and her eyes were panned off to the left of the camera. Instead of looking at the camera she usually does, she was fucking reading it off a piece of paper off to the side of the screen. You could see her eyes fucking moving.
Yep.
I remember, what's his name, who was that? Did the stream just, and he pointed out, he goes, look how her eyes, you can actually see her reading. And I was like, holy shit, I wouldn't have noticed that if someone hadn't pointed that out.
Right.
She says, I didn't mean anything bad by this. And she referenced specifically only the thing of, it was insensitive of me to say you should go get a job during the pandemic.
Right. She didn't specifically mention that other part, which was equally, if not more so, egregious.
Yeah. I don't think it's because she was stupid, so that only leaves some really unsavory options
The
that
smoking
I still
rat.
can't guess at. Was that a propositioning, like advertising that I do side streams? Every cam girl does private streams,
Right.
if you know what I mean,
hmm
and charge for the extra closeness of the parasocial relationship where you're
Right.
talking to me and only me.
Rat in the chat brings up a theory that I think actually might be more accurate to what the desire was by that sentence. And he says it means some of those people should be giving more in a strange passive-aggressive manner. Because obviously the implication there is engineers, doctors, lawyers, whatever, they make 6 figures reliably. So they have the
Fair
cash
point,
to
Rat.
burn. So
Yeah,
they
fair
can be
point.
giving more than just the $5 that she's e-begging for from her jobless audience members.
Yeah. No, it's a fair point.
hmm
I myself, in going to say such a thing, would have thought, I don't know, maybe it's because of the whole doxing thing. When you say I know who you are,
That's an implied threat.
yeah, insta.
That's
Like,
extortion to me. That's what I got from that statement.
But maybe she is on. I mean, well, no, hold on. I was gonna say maybe she's on some shit where she doesn't really just see doxing as that bad. Really? Then why are you 100% anonymous and don't want anybody to know who you are or where you live? Like, you must understand the idea of the desire for anonymity.
Right.
And it's like, well, because I'm the one who's on here. Oh. but the one who's on there is in some sort of position where it's okay for them to know who. Listen, if somebody's donating under the name of Mr. Clit Tickler, like they or whatever, they just.
What did you say? There are two possible things that you could have said. One, did you say clip tickler?
I did. I said clip tickler.
Oh,
That's
thank
right.
God.
It was a CLIP. That was
Okay. All right. Because the other one probably made more sense in my head.
yeah. It's-
I'm gonna need a minute. Sorry, my mind's in the gutter apparently. Well, we all knew
no,
this.
I don't know where you got that shit from. You're filthy. It's terrible.
Clip but sound like the other one. Yes, it did, Snoopy. Yes, it did. Don't look at my red face. Why am I the only one on camera, damn it? Just kidding. Holly has a new nickname.
All right.
Cheers, everybody.
So
Anyway. So you were saying about the clip tickler.
yes, if you've got an alternative name, you don't have your actual name up.
Right.
Then clearly you're somebody who desires anonymity. And for somebody to just simply say, you are somebody who is using the name, Invader V.
Mm-hmm.
You're not saying your name is like Karen Smith.
Right.
Then why aren't you just saying your name? Because I want anonymity. Okay. Well, Mr. Clip Tickler showed up, and obviously, well, no, he's fine with me knowing who he. I don't know if you guys know this, but I know what your real names are. I mean, come on. You have to be able to make the connections here, and even if you were using it as a rat, I hear you. That's actually a fair point. But then maybe I'm giving her too much credit for not realizing what an implied threat it sounded like. Like, let me just say if I was somebody who was a six-figure guaranteed person, and I'm certainly not, I'm a poor man, but let's say I had the money to give to an idiot like Invader V, and I was idiotic enough to be giving money to Invader V, and I had a wife, and she said that, holy shit, would it be insta unsub, delete, cleanse history, step the fuck back, never go near this again. How the fuck do I? There has to be some way to donate in anonymity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do you understand what I mean? Like that would, wow. If I had a wife and I heard a streamer I donated to say something like that, yeah, I would. It would freak the fuck out of me, and I would run away. But that's me. I don't know. Maybe I take the whole anonymity thing a different way than she was.
I guess it depends on what you've been donating and like what you've been saying. Because like there's two schools of thought with that, right? Either you're in trouble with your wife, girlfriend, whatever, because you spent way too much money on some random Twitch thought. Or you're in trouble.
Or any at all, for that
Any
matter.
at all, for that matter, right? It's not in the budget. We don't have room in the budget for this thing. Or, alternatively, it's you have been donating with these little messages to this woman things that you should not be saying while you're in a relationship with someone else. And honestly, either is a big deal. Because I think the two leading reasons for divorce in at least the United States are financial issues and infidelity. Infidelity. Are they not? I'm pretty sure. Those are two leading causes.
Finances and infidelity?
Right. Financial strain and then infidelity.
I actually don't know, but I would like to know. I don't know what...
It sounds right.
I mean, I'm sure the leading cause as cited on the legal papers is irreconcilable differences.
Right.
But what is the actual cause, if you know what I mean?
13 most common reasons for divorce, conflict, arguing, irretrievable...
Says who?
Says it'sovereasy.com.
Well, okay, so
Right,
do you have someone that like conducted an actual poll of divorcees?
Insider.com.
That
I
music
think they're citing
in the background, Zed Hero, is coming from Weebo's computer.
Right. It's coming from my computer. NCI.
I happen to like lo-fi. Unironically, I do. I
Yeah.
sub to a number of lo-fi channels. I'm a fan.
Indeed, indeed. Where are they getting this study from? Ooh, pretty earrings. Okay, alright. Here's an actual study for you, Polly. Can you see this? Okay.
No, you've been Pixel Quest since, like, I don't know, 45 minutes ago.
Oh.
Because you got your screen share set on for smoother video as opposed to for readability.
I didn't reset anything from the last time.
You just sharpened up. That's crazy.
Oh, maybe it has to do with the fact that I didn't have Discord open.
Let me ask you something. I'm curious. You got your OBIS open right now.
Right.
What's your dropped frames rate?
Dropped frame rate. I go into settings.
No, it should just be on the bottom of OBS standard along the bottom. One of the data.
0%.
You haven't dropped a single fuck, so it's totally on YouTube, chat. 100%. She hasn't dropped a single frame.
Yep.
So I mean, it's not Weebo's internet is the point. It's YouTube fucking up.
Yeah.
It's their servers and whatnot.
Fucking YouTube.
What rate are you streaming at? Was the other thing I wanted to ask. You streaming at 720, 1080, 60 frames a second? What?
That's it. That is in settings, right? Output.
I thought it said it along the bottom. Hold on. Let me look on my OBIS. Does it actually say your frame rate?
Drop frame, live, record, CPU.
Oh, yeah, it does. CPU, and then how many frames per second?
Oh,
it should
30.
say right there.
30 frames.
Okay, yeah, okay. I don't understand people that live stream at 60 frames a second. Like, that's just like, you know, I've got a big dick. Watch me do a helicopter. I mean, that's all it's just mostly static image, and you're streaming it at 60 frames a second.
Every detail matters, Polly. That's why I keep playing with my hair, because every detail matters.
Well, that's brutally impacting people that don't have unlimited data on their phones that are consuming the content on a mobile device, which still shocks the fuck of me. That's 80%. I still can't get my head around that, Weebo. I can't.
What do you think I do at work all day? Work, but also there's stuff in the background. YouTube, predominantly.
On your mobile device? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't watch the stuff that I watch on YouTube on my work device.
You know, I had a job once. It's a good thing my former boss doesn't know. Watch my channel.
That you had a job once.
No, he knew I had a job.
Oh, your boss did not know that you worked for him? Interesting.
At the time, I had a data plan that was unlimited.
Huh.
And so I tethered my phone to a laptop that I brought into work. And the 6 to 8 hour day that I was there, the work that I actually did, I was accomplished in 2 to 3 hours.
Right.
The rest of the time, I was tethered to my phone because I hear you don't want to be on company Wi-Fi doing that shit, right? So yeah, I was just watching videos, reading papers, doing schoolwork. Yeah, Holmes, you were paying me a fucking salary for me to do my research and
I would like to clarify. I was doing work. I do work while I listen to stuff. It's just on in the background, and it's to pass the time. It's like what you would put on in the car when you're driving. You're not watching it, you're listening to it. Anyway, sorry.
No, I'm just saying, people that stream at 60 frames a second, that are doing just streams like we're doing, imagine the poor people that aren't on Wi-Fi and how badly you're impacting their non-unlimited data plans. Why? Why are you doing it? And plus, just why are you doing it? I mean, 1080 I get. It's more detailed. It won't make any difference on a small screen, but on a larger screen it will. Right. The 30 frames per second versus 60 will not make any difference unless you're watching something that's got fast motion to it.
Right.
Like gameplay or whatever.
I don't even know how to change that in OBS.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so you have a document here about divorce.
So I'm just gonna read the abstract really briefly, but it says the study represents findings from interviews of 52 divorced individuals who received the Prevention and Relationship Enhancement Program, or PrEP, which isn't that the anti-HIV drug? I feel like it is. Anyway.
Is it? I don't know.
I think that's what it's called.
Is that what it's called?
I thought it was PrEP. But anyway, while engaged to be married, using both quantitative and qualitative methods, the study sought to understand participants' reason for divorce, including identification of the final straw, the thing that broke the camel's back. In order to understand, the program covered these topics effectively. Participants also provided suggestions based on their premarital education experiences so as to improve future relationship education efforts. The most commonly reported major contributors to divorce were a lack of commitment, infidelity, and conflict/arguing. The most common final straw reasons were infidelity, domestic violence, and substance abuse. More participants blamed their partners than blamed themselves for the divorce. Recommendations from participants for the improvement of premarital education included receiving a relationship education before making a commitment to marry, when it would be easier to break up, having support for implementing skills outside of educational settings, and increasing content about the stages of typical marital development. These results provided new insights into the timing and content of premarital and relationship education. So, infidelity, a lack of commitment, infidelity, and conflict arguing. The most common final straws: infidelity, domestic violence, and substance abuse. So I was definitely right on the infidelity. The conflict/arguing could encompass financial issues, because of course if you're having financial issues, you're gonna argue about it. But it doesn't qualify as a final straw, whereas infidelity does. So, yeah. The most relevant parts of this are here. So what I'm hearing here is, chat, don't cheat on your significant other. It's bad news. Don't do it.
Don't get caught.
Polydub.
Yes?
Infidelity is no bueno.
There's no bueno.
Don't do it.
Yeah. No, don't do it. I'm a weird guy in that way. I mean, I do. Yeah, forgiveness is a thing, but forgetfulness is difficult when it comes to, let's say, infidelity. It's like, let me see if I get this straight. I'm supposed to go where another man has been. No.
Okay, see, that seems like a bad reason for infidelity to be bad. If that makes sense. Right, because, like, assuming that she wasn't a virgin before y'all got together, then obviously that reason doesn't apply. The better reason, in my opinion, would be, we had a social contract for the relationship. You broke that contract. I can no longer trust you. What is a relationship without trust?
The betrayal is the issue at hand, of which can be forgiven or not.
Right.
Is what I mean by that. And the betrayal on that level is hard to forgive, but there's a possibility of it there.
Right.
What I mean is that what I would imagine would bring about the ultimate downfall is, like, when would we have sex next? Do you understand what I'm saying? It would be a while, if ever. I have to think about that. And it's like, well, what do you mean, man? You say you've never been cheated on? Never that she has admitted to, no. So, I wonder. I do have to wonder, what would happen if in a committed relationship, and my girl said to me, you know, I have something to tell you, blah, 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 and ultimately, yeah, I've been sleeping with this other guy. I've been having sex with this other guy. I would want some kind of detail on that, because I would want to know the extent of how far your deception went. Do you understand what so you're trying to, how long had this been going on for, would be probably one of the first questions that I would have.
Right.
And if the answer had been months and months, God, please let it be that you can't measure it longer than that. You know.
Right. If it's years, the relationship's over.
You would have to imagine, right? And it's like months and months. And it's like, so wait a minute. Every time you told me you had to work late, every time you told me that you were running out to grocery, every time you told Jesus Christ, you know, that impacts, like you said, trust. Like you said, social contract. Yeah, I guess you could describe it that way, but I certainly wouldn't be thinking in those terms. I would be thinking, my ability to detect your lying is far worse than I thought it was, and you are far more of a deceptive harpy than I ever imagined.
Right. How can I look at you the same ever again? I can't.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, eventually, I guess, but it's like, when would we be having sex next? Jesus Christ, I would have a very hard time getting over the idea of how many times had we had sex within 24 hours of you having had sex with another man.
Right. I
Gross,
can see that.
gross, disgusting. You sicken me. Why would I ever want to have sex with you again? I feel sickened about myself having done that.
Okay.
And I think I would like to think most men would think about it that way. Would just be like, how many times had this happened? Like, it was within hours at some points. Oh, right. God. Like, it, you know.
I guess that's a gender difference, right? Because for me, the big thing isn't so much the gross factor of, well, another woman's been on that dick. It's It's the how can I make myself so vulnerable with somebody whom I can't trust? Because
Don't
it's
get me
a
wrong.
very important thing, at least for me as a woman, to be able to trust the
Oh,
person
yeah.
that I'm sleeping with.
Fuck yes.
Right, because you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable position.
Fuck yes.
So. Wow, this got heavy really quick.
Yeah, it did.
We went from talking about Twitch thoughts to, hypothetically, under what circumstances? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. No, it is, and it is probably worth thinking about in the concept of, like, working it out for people who may be, like, in a live environment who might have that issue. Or might be facing that issue currently. You know?
Okay, I got a question for you there, Weebo.
Yeah, what's up?
So, it's often quoted statistic, and it turns out that it's been looked at enough that the cause is unclear, but the effect being measured is real and consistent, which is people that did not live with each other prior to getting married have a lower divorce rate than those who did live with each other prior to marriage. What do you make of that?
So, just to make sure that I understand what you just said, people who live together before marriage have a higher divorce rate than people who didn't. What do I make of that?
Yeah. And like I said, the cause is, well, up for debate. And, you know, if you're trying to assess it quantitatively, you're in for a I think a messy job if you can. So I'm saying that the effect is real. The cause is up for debate. But what do you think of it generally?
So
why would that be?
The general answer, and this is me completely speculating, predominantly the people nowadays that don't live together before marriage are more religious. And by consequence, they also happen to believe more in the institution of marriage and the concept of toughing it out during the tough times, more so than those people that don't live together before marriage, right? So they have a more foundational basis for being stubborn through those hard times and making it work because they see divorce as more substantive than the person who does not see it as more substantive. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense?
It does. You know what just came to mind because we were watching a Sopranos clip earlier? Another Sopranos clip where the very guy that Meadow, the daughter, Tony Soprano's daughter, was talking about there, Finn, he is at work at a construction job that Tony got him where he gets paid a ridiculous amount of money to do very little because the guy is paying Tony protection money, and Tony just did it as a favor to his daughter's boyfriend, who he thinks of as, oh, you're in dental school, you're a stand-up guy, thank God my daughter's not with a scumbag, I'm gonna hook this guy up, which with a really lazy fucking job, that a union job that you get paid ridiculous amounts of money to do very, very little for. And the site contractor is well aware of this, that he is not to get you to do any actual work, you're just to kind of like hang out all day. And you know, so he's there and he ends up hitting on the girl that they've got working there at the construction site doing like their pay stubs, their clerical work,
right?
You know what I mean? And she's like this hot little Latina thing, and he and her are like getting into these flirty conversations and whatnot, and she says to him, so you got a girlfriend or whatever? It's like, yeah, we live together, but I don't know, sometimes I don't think we vibe well or whatever. And he's, you know, he's doing the thing where he's trying to make it like, yeah, I live with my girlfriend, but if you're interested, like, you know what I mean? He's trying to like set that up, right? He's like, you know, we're not getting along. And she said, so like, y'all aren't tight? She goes, no, we are. It's just sometimes we argue a lot is all I'm saying or whatever. And he says, it's pretty much like being married. And she said, no, it's not. And he says, what do you mean? Like we live together or whatever? And she goes, believe me, I've seen it. That ring it has like this strange power or something. Because like when you're just living with someone, you always know in the back of your head you can just pack your shit and leave or tell them to get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
But that ring, that changes everything.
Right, you're contractually obligated to be with that person.
Like psychologically, because it's got this strange power, this kind of idea. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it was an interesting line. It stuck with me, like that beyond a religious context. I think that it does have, it does have a strange power, as she attempted to describe. That it has an impact on you psychologically that you just can't take off anymore like you could before.
Right.
Thus, it's heavier and you're more committed, et cetera, et cetera.
Definitely, I would say. The ring does play a part in keeping couples together. I mean, like, not just for legal reasons, but, like, the implications of being a divorcee are not great. Because it's a signifier that, you might not be good in relationships, you might not make great decisions, you might be, you might bring with you more conflict, and so, or not just you, but like you might bring the baggage of your ex into the next relationship that you go into, right? Because, and I know this very well, even if you divorce, that's not the end of your relationship. That is just the beginning of the next phase of your relationship in some cases. And those phases can
You think so?
last for a long time. Like, yeah, my mom divorced my dad when I was 6. They weren't done with each other until their last child turned 18. And now my dad won't even talk to my mother. Ever. Like, at all. For any reason. It's gonna be awkward at the wedding. When eventually they will have to meet again.
You
I
just
might
made it
just-
sound like Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi. What the hell?
I might just have 2 separate weddings for each family, because that was how my childhood went. It was 2 separate birthday parties, 2 separate Christmases, 2 separate Thanksgivings, 2 separate every single holiday, every single like big event. It was separate. I might just have to have 2 separate weddings for 2 separate halves of the family, because they might not behave. Elopement, yeah, that's not happening either. I have too much family for that to go through.
I have a friend who did that. His mom is still. Wow.
Right.
He went to Vegas.
Oh.
He did the thing, like the thing.
The thing that you're not supposed to do.
like eloping is one thing. Eloping to Vegas is like fiction level elopement. Like, you understand what I'm saying? He actually went to fucking Vegas and got married. And then they were there for like a week and then came back and then said, "Hey, yo, mom," and she still hasn't gotten over it. She's like, that was like 4 years ago.
Right.
She's still pissed.
Like,
Because you didn't ask me, I didn't get to attend your wedding. All of the things. All of
well,
the
yeah,
motherly
but
things.
that's his
you know?
mom. But like,
Her only son. My
Right.
God, my only son. That's what he tells me she keeps saying. My only son.
I would be super salty about that too. Like, it doesn't even have to be a big wedding. If my child got married and I wasn't in attendance, I would feel like a failure as a mother, because I want to be there for every milestone that my kid goes through. Like, that's just the kind of woman that I am. I'm like, I will be at every soccer game, every oboe concert. Like, that's my kid. I need to be there. It's probably a complex that I've developed as a result of, again, my mother not being there for all of those milestones. But like,
Yeah.
I can understand that. What the issue is not that my parents would have, like, it's not with my parents, right? The rest of the
Thank
family.
you for your patronage.
The rest of the family would be in a tizzy. Not just my family, but his family as well. Because they've been asking for the last 3-4 years, when you getting hitched? Are you engaged? Every single time I show off this thing or wear it to someone who hasn't seen me in forever, they're like, and I'm like, no, it's not an engagement ring, it's a promise ring. We're not there yet. But yeah, I know that indicates to me that it would be a problem if we just eloped out of the blue. for everyone.
Huh.
Everyone. I would never stop hearing about it. So we can't. It's impossible. There's too many people in my life.
It's possible, but it would make life unlivable.
Yes. Gotcha. Let's go with that. Thank you the next 6 minutes for the donation. I would enjoy watching you on stream with Moonshock and Frosted Glass of Clippers United when they play Super Seducer. Is that a video game?
Yeah, is that like
about seducing people?
Yeah, an alpha male dating sim, Super Seducer.
I would be a Super Seducer. I think I know what women want.
Do you?
Yes, actually. As a woman, I think I am equipped with the knowledge of what the women want.
Well, what the women want, but
The
you know,
women
you're like, are you a lesbian seducer in this scenario? I mean,
Like,
shouldn't you
yeah,
need to know
okay.
what men want?
Is it the alpha male seducing the women folk, or is it?
Well, if you were there, I would assume that you're a seductress.
Right, but like if it's a
I would
video
assume-
game, you get to play as a dude, or you would be playing as a dude.
Well, you don't know. You could be picking from, you know,
I don't
either
know.
gender at the beginning, or maybe you're a non-binary seducer. You know, a sedustrix.
Hey, you know, I can pretend to be anything that I want, and I would be exceptional at it because I'm just about that. C. Thomas Peasant, thank you for the donation of $2 just to say penis.
Excellent.
Zed Hero asked in the chat, are we going to get Polly as a guest on Side Quest? That would be hilarious. I don't think we do guests on Side Quest, but Tavern Talks might allow for a certain personified otter to keep us company. I don't know, I'd have to check with the rest of
Thank
the
you
group.
for your patronage.
But that would be cool.
Penis.
We could time travel all the way back to an alternate dimension. And get some wizard robes or something. I don't know. What would your otter wear to medieval times if like you had to dress
Oh
up?
God, that is easy to answer.
Oh, you know this. You had this ready. You had this geared up.
I have been waiting my entire adult life for the
Yes.
hooded cloak to come back
Oh.
into fashion.
Okay. Yes, I know this to be true.
Right?
Mhm.
And you've told me repeatedly that I need to be the fashion trend,
Right.
not follow the fashion trend.
Be
so
the
I should
change
just
you want to see in the world, Polly.
right. So I should just be wearing the hooded cloak. Like I've been told again and again that fashion is cyclical. Okay, well it's been centuries. When is the hooded cloak coming back into fashion?
Bring
I-
it back yourself.
So, you know, what would my persona? What would the otterly persona be? Well, I'd be an otter in a hooded cloak. I mean, there's just there really isn't another option.
Be
I
a
mean,
travel-worn, weary man otter thing.
yeah. I would say traveling thief slash assassin.
Excuse me.
Traveling thief slash assassin, not a pirate.
You can't steal my other characterization.
Yeah, but I'm a scumbag, so it's like, you know, people are paying me to knife someone or paying me to steal, or I'm just stealing because no one is paying me to knife someone in a while.
Probably everyone is a scumbag on the Wicked Guild. That's why we're called the Wicked Guild. It's kind of in the name. The name implies that we're not great people. Oh, but that would
Fucktard said, would we put his face on screen? Nobody wants a face reveal of me. Who wants to see a fat, ugly neckbeard?
I disagree with this characterization of what Polydub actually looks like. He's not a fat, ugly neckbeard.
You know what's funny? When Sinatra saw me for the first time, he's like, you know what? You look exactly like I thought you
Thank
looked.
you for your patronage.
And I was like, what? Why wouldn't I? If you know what I mean. Like, it's like when I saw Monkey, Ranting Monkey. It's like, yeah, you look exactly like I thought you looked. And he's like, well, yeah, I described myself. And I was like, yeah, and it was pretty accurate. I mean, it was general, but it was pretty accurate. But what came to mind is exactly how he looks. Like, face reveals are actually, in my opinion, really uninteresting because people look like you think they do.
Just wait until I reveal my true face.
Yeah,
The
wait.
lizard face. Prepare yourself for scales.
Wait till I turn off this super high-end CGI I've been running this whole time.
Right. It's been, what, almost 6 years now? Thank you, C. Thomas Peasant, again, for the $2. Polly would be an otter hobbit boomer. I could see it.
What would a boomer be like in a fantasy medieval context? Somebody who doesn't get the magic that the kids are using? Like, what would it be?
A librarian. Like, maybe. Boomer. Like, no, not a librarian. Boomer. Someone not with the times. I don't know that you would have a boomer because, like, the implication of boomer is that you are so behind the times you cannot catch up because everything is so vastly ahead of your comprehension. But the medieval times kind of stagnated for people. There wasn't a whole lot of advancement during the Dark Ages.
Yeah, it took a while. I mean, up until the time of the printing press. Thank you again, Johann Gutenberg.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah.
the idea of boomering yourself out of capacity to do the thing didn't really manifest until a lot later, I feel.
I just... next 6 minutes says, Polly does not look like Dave Coulier.
Who's
Was
Dave
that
Coulier?
the thing? Was that the thinking? He's a, I don't know, a stand-up comedian. He did sitcoms.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, just like those pixels. I don't know, maybe.
Can you not see still?
Yeah, no.
Alright, how about now?
I mean,
just
it
opened up
keeps going
Discord.
in and out, actually. Like, it's back and forth.
I can't do nothing. I just pulled up Dave Coulier, and I have...
Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, him. No, I don't look like that at all. Like, no.
Definitely
I
has more hair on the top of his head.
Yeah, not balding, full head of hair. It's dark brown, 3-day beard growth. No, more like 5. I don't know. 6'2", 200 pounds. Does that help? I don't know. If you were to pick a well-known person, Weebo, who'd you say I look like? Like, even vaguely.
You didn't like my last answer for this.
What was it? I forget.
I don't want to repeat it. You're gonna get mad at me again.
Probably. I only, again, to use the word, vaguely recall you doing this, and I vaguely recall me saying, what? Because I just didn't buy it, but who was it?
Like, the immediate person that came to mind when you first asked me this question. Okay, this was a couple years ago. All right,
All right.
I just want to put that out there, okay? Was Armored Skeptic at the time, and I know.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You took
Fuck
such offense to that because you hate him with a burning passion.
I do. He's a fucking moron.
Yeah, he
guess,
might
because the
be
guy's
a moron.
The guy's got, okay, I can see it in as far as, okay, look, I'm white, so's he. He's got dark hair, and he has a beard. Other than that, I mean, the guy is so fat he's bursting out of his fucking vest.
He is not anymore. Like, I follow him on Instagram.
What does he look like now?
He looks good. We're gonna stalk Armored Skeptic on Instagram.
He looks good. Okay.
I mean, he looked good before, but he looks good now. Oh, hang on. You can't know my password. Or my Facebook, for that matter. How do I log in to Instagram? Oh, that's right. You just log in. You don't have to log in with Facebook. Okay.
I mean, I did see him when it's like, is this guy trying to start his own religion because he looks like Jesus now, like in the sense of the Renaissance presentation of Jesus, as in like dark hair, beard, and his hair is long, like a little bit longer at shoulder length, and he was dressing in robes for some reason, like Hebrew robes of the 1st century. And it's like, yeah, what the fuck is this guy doing? Has he gone crazy? I don't understand. Somebody showed me a bunch of pictures, and that's exactly what he looked like and was dressed like. But that was, again, it was like 2 years ago.
Okay, and I just want to put out there, right? This was I meant this with the intent to compliment you, because I actually think that the Armor Skeptic looks good. I thought he looked good back then. I think he looks good now. I think you look good then. I think you look good now. Sue me.
Sue me.
I am not.
You had to pick somebody that I think of as such a moron in terms of his worldview, his self-expression.
Right, but I'm
the
not
things that he
comparing
says.
your mentality to each other. Like, your intelligence is not the comparison here. It's how you look.
I get you. I hear you.
So, separate the two, Polly. Come on.
All right.
You're an adult. You can do that. But anyway, this is what he looks like now. He did a selfie dump a while ago, so that's what I'm basing this off of. It was back in April. He could be fat now, but
a selfie dump.
Yes, it's what happens when you are self-obsessed and you take selfies of yourself because you're like, oh, I look good in this. I do this. And that's why we get a whole bunch of Weebo pictures on the Instagram every once in a while. Of course, mine are a little bit more silly-faced, but anyway.
I like the center one where he's like full on posing. It's like, fuck off.
I fucking do that.
You're a woman. It's different. There's no dignity in this man. Look at him.
I am.
Yeah, he looks like a douche to me. Yeah, which is why I don't look like him, Trimble. You're right. It's just...
He also kind of looks like El Boyfriendo, I'm not going to lie, in this picture. Especially with the long hair. Because El Boyfriendo's got long hair now.
Yeah.
A lot longer than this, though. Gotta have
First time I ever saw El Boyfriendo, he was bent over an AR-10, so it was kind of hard to go, yeah, okay, he's cool. There was...
Yeah. Yeah. That exists. The only picture of El Boyfriendo on the internet that everyone knows is El Boyfriendo, by the way. Like, he has a social media presence-ish. But, he doesn't post selfies. He doesn't take pictures of himself. Personality-wise, I think they're the exact opposite. Not gonna lie.
I mean, there's a good example of, he looks like a dick, etc. And it's a lot of it has to do with, like, posing and whatnot, and selfies in general. And you said, like, when you're a self-obsessed person, there are not that many pictures of me. It's not because I try to avoid cameras like the plague or something. It's just, I don't know.
You just don't put yourself in those situations.
I was just about to say, I can't remember the last time I took a selfie or what the hell it was for. But before I even said it, I actually remembered. I was texting with this girl I know IRL, and she was just asking, where are you going? I said, actually, I just pulled up in the parking lot. I'm going to get my hair cut. And she goes, how long is it? Oh my God, blah, 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 send me a picture. And I was like, okay. It's like, that was the last selfie I took to show her how long my hair was before I was just going to get it cut.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled it forward all like boy band style. Like, and I did the moody look, like I'm,
Okay.
in pain and suffering, and only you can reach me, girl, like that whole boy band look.
100% Armor Skeptic took these pictures in this way to impress some chick at some point, and that's why he had them. It's not because he's just posing for his Instagram, like, because it was a selfie dump, so it was not the only picture in the dump. But this is probably the result of, because him and Shu broke up, so he's on the prowl for the next Mrs. Skeptic. So it's entirely possible that he took this just to impress some woman, which, if he was, goal achieved. Yep. He looks good. Sue me. I ran out of drink.
I saw those insulated. Is it like, are those aluminum? That mug you got?
Maybe. Yes. I don't know.
Like there's like an air cavity in there or whatever.
Probably in between this and this. Yeah.
I saw one of those the other day, and I was thinking, I need one of these for my bourbon iced teas and whatnot. Like, I hate melty ice watering down your drink.
Yeah.
And then it was at a camping store, and I looked at the bottom of it, like, oh, how much is this going for? And it was like $15.99, and I'm like, God damn, man, I gotta make it by Walmart. I am not paying $16 for a fucking aluminum glass that's insulated. Like, I mean, I like how it's bottom heavy too, because, drunkenness when you're what?
I'm not paying $60 for an aluminum glass. I feel like I've been shamed here as a Yeti whore, as a Yeti brand whore.
Is it? Oh, that's a brand name Yeti?
Yeah.
Oh, so you paid for it then? Like, you paid.
Oh yeah, twice over. They're good products, and I like their shit.
I think they are as well. Yeah, no, I just don't buy them.
Yeah, my
I bought a
family's
thermos brand thermos for my iced coffee, and I'm happy with it. Thank
Ooh.
you. And that thing was like $20, but it was like the key that I was looking for was a thermos that I could throw in to my shoulder bag with the most valuable of papers in complete confidence that the thing would not leak.
Yeah.
That's what I was after. The true ceiling top thermos that's not a screw-on situation, but that
Right.
you can snap it open to drink out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I found it in that thermos. That thing is sealed like tight as fuck.
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? If you find a good thermos and you use the fuck out of it, you will pay whatever amount of money that you need to have your coffee be kept warm for however long you need. Because my coffee, I pour it at like 5 o'clock in the morning. By lunchtime at 11:30, I'm still, well, I'm not usually still working on it, but it can last me up until lunchtime at 11:30, which is pretty decent for timing.
Yeah.
You want that.
You notice that? You notice that, like the stickers that they put on the outside to advertise them. It'll say like, keep something hot for 6 hours or cold for 12 or whatever the particular numbers they are. But the cold is always much longer than the hot.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, heat must, transmit and dissipate faster through this than cold does. Yeah, they're not kidding, because the thermos that I have, I've drank iced coffee because you can unscrew the top entirely from it, so you're just drinking out of it like it's a mug, and the top of it is cleverly shaped, so you can go ahead and do that. So it's just like an open top, tall drinking glass now at this point, right? I had iced coffee in it with ice cubes, drank it, so there were finished it, so there's nothing but ice cubes in there, and then left it overnight. Came back the next day, like 8 or 10 hours later, and this happened multiple times. There's still fucking ice in the bottom, and the top is open.
Same thing with my Yeti, except I left mine outside in the truck on a hot summer evening, and I came back the next day and it was still there was still ice in the bottom. And I'm not just talking like the dregs of ice. No, they were full cubes basically.
Weird, isn't it? Like, it seems to
insane.
violate the laws of thermodynamics and whatnot.
It's the insulation. The insulation is.
I had no idea how much heat and cold bleeds through the side of a drink vessel. For fuck's sake,
Yeah.
it just.
That's why I cannot recommend Yeti enough. Not sponsored. I love Yeti.
But you would.
I would totally accept a sponsorship from Yeti. I don't usually accept sponsorships. I get reached out to every once in a while in a blue moon. But Yeti, I would make an exception because I love their product and I use it.
It's always easy to sell something that you legitimately like.
Yeah.
I've done sales before, and if you legitimately dig the thing, your passion comes through naturally, and you end up doing it. I remember when I was doing the sommelier thing, bourbons and scotch that I actually liked. It was so much easier to sell than anything else because you legitimately like it. Trying to talk up something that you know is wildly overpriced, overblended garbage that's hard.
Right.
In any case, yeah. Things that I would accept, sponsorships I would accept right off the bat.
Yeah.
Audible.
Really?
Yeah, I'm still upset at them. Where
yeah, that's why I was really.
Yeah, I would say that. I don't know. Can you say something negative in your ads? Because when you watch Internet Historian, he goes so far with his NordVPN stuff where it's almost mocking the fucking company.
Right.
And every VPN advertisement is telling you the same thing. It will help you break international copyright law. Really? You just say that. I love how people just
come
say,
out and
all
say
of them
it.
too. Yeah, all of them just say it. It's
Really, that is a selling point for VPNs. Straight up, they know exactly what they're doing. The fact that internet, there hasn't been a law passed for VPNs to impede that capability yet astounds me, because the entertainment industry is all powerful, almighty. You know how it is.
I do.
But, I don't think anyone actually gives a shit so much about that aspect, so long as they're still watching it, maybe? I don't know. Or maybe it just hasn't caught up, because, technology is always 2 decades ahead of that boomer in legal who has an issue with given thing.
Yeah, I mean, so would I be able to say, okay, their prices aren't as good as they were 2 years ago? As a matter of fact, they've gone up. But hey, COVID and whatnot, am I right?
You're
Anyways, it just go back to it, because I use Audible and I really dig Audible, but it's just their prices have gone up so much. Like I said, I was paying $15 a month for 2 credits that would get you whatever you want to buy, regardless of the price, right?
Right.
2 credits a month, plus a substantially discounted rate for anything additional that you wanted to buy.
Right. That's it.
Now, same $15 a month is 1 credit a month, and the substantial discount is gone. Instead, you can download for free anything from this pool of pre-selected audiobooks for as many of them as you want for free.
Yay.
And I've scrolled through the pool of curated audiobooks that they have, and they're all trash that I don't want to read. They're celebrities books.
Right.
You know, this moron wrote a book. This moron wrote a book. This actor wrote a book. So I don't want to read Brad Pitt's book.
Thank you for your patronage.
Oh, hang on. Thank you to C. Thomas Peasant again for the $2. We need more armored dub. I'll get far right on that. She can make the otter with armor.
You could.
Unless
do you
there
remember
already
this?
is one.
Have you ever seen the meme of the little squirrel in the armor?
Yes, I believe so.
It's one of my top 10 favorite memes of all time.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how whoever photoshopped that little squirrel into the armor did a very good job, because it really looks like a tree squirrel wearing armor.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fucking adorable. He's got a little shield and everything. And it said, the text at the top, I cannot remember it, but it's so well worded. I can't remember it verbatim. Is it, one day years ago, you swerved out of the way to avoid hitting a tree squirrel. Yeah, there it is. The
You
tree squirrel
swerve to
swore
avoid a squirrel. Unknown to you, the squirrel pledges a life debt to you. In your darkest hour, the squirrel arrives.
It makes me laugh so much to think of a squirrel pledging a life debt in your time of need, your darkest hour. Your hero comes and he shows up, in armor.
It's Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, fuck, I love it.
Beautiful. I think Armored Squirrel is a good stopping point. Because I do
Fair
have work
enough.
in the morning. That's a good time. That's a good time. So, I had fun tonight, chat. Not that I don't have fun every night, but I really, we had good conversations.
Peculiarly fun.
We always have good conversations, but I don't know. I think Armored Squirrel is just, so fresh in my mind, and that's, peak conversation. Isn't it?
There we go. I mean, how can you top Armored Squirrel?
You can't. You really can't, which is why we have to quit while we're ahead. It's just
That's
all
right.
downhill from here. So, what happens next week? I have to, double check myself, because everything happens so quickly nowadays, and stuff. Polly, show yourself while I check my calendar.
You can go over to my channel. There's some content there. I make no promises as to its quality. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. With that said, it is there for you to watch should you want to.
Rating endorsement of yourself. We love to see it. Guys, check out Polydub. He does good stuff. He takes pride in his work, which is something rare that you don't see all that often nowadays with creators, okay? Check out Polydub. He works very hard at what he does. And he does good. Anyway, I don't have a video to show right now. I'm hoping to have one out by the end of the week, but that all depends on whether or not I get shit done. So, we'll see. In the meantime, we'll be back here next week, as far as I'm aware. Unless Polly has something else that he's got to do on the 2nd of October.
No,
Remember.
you were... while I was talking there, I actually pulled up my schedule. I don't for next Sunday night or early Monday morning, so I'm good.
Okay.
And I don't have to wake up tomorrow until noon. And you know why? Because I bothered to get a master's degree, Weebo. See, this is the...
Are you telling me you're disappointed in me for not continuing my education and furthering putting myself in debt?
Well, putting yourself further in debt, yeah. No, we were talking about the grad school thing there for you a hot minute, a while ago, but that's before you got gainful employment and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I can still do that while I'm gainfully employed.
Yeah.
So, We'll see.
No, I continually go back to a foreign professor of mine that said your doctorate is your lifetime guarantee of never having to get up before noon. And I was like, okay, as if I needed more reasons. I like this. She was kind of half kidding, but I took it seriously.
Obviously. As is evidenced by what you just said about next Sunday and Monday.
Well, no, it's just I'm a night owl, and the research contract I'm doing right now, I'm working remotely.
Ooh.
So that means, yeah, it's the same amount of hours put in, but I get to choose when those hours are, which is very convenient for people that don't like to wake up before noon.
Very good, Polydub. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything else that you want to show, or are you just gonna take this opportunity to dunk on yourself once again?
No, you already asked me to pitch myself, and I did. What?
But, like, don't you have streams to show?
Oh, yeah. So tomorrow we'll be over on Drunken Uncle's channel for the first AAA of the week, followed by Wednesday, the best AAA of the week at 5:30 p.m. Eastern and 5:30 a.m. on Christmas Island over on my channel, which is simply YouTube/Polydub. I'm so easy to find. It's like having vanity plates. Everyone knows.
It literally is the internet equivalent of vanity plates.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have that? Do you have the, what do they call it? Personalized whatever?
I do.
It's the one and only thing that YouTube ever actually offered me.
Really?
It's just one day. Yeah, one day I went into a YouTube studio and it said, you know, you've got enough subscribers and view hours in total to have qualified for whatever the fuck they call it. I forget.
Right.
Your own URL. So yeah, if you just type in
a unique URL.
www. Yeah. Polydub or YouTube/Polydub, it just takes you to my channel, and I'm like, it's like, do you want this? And I just had to click.
Yes.
Is that all I have to do? I just mean yes. I don't have to like swear my firstborn and a kidney to you or anything.
No.
And it was like it was boom, it was done. I mean, but that was like 3 years ago. I highly doubt it works that way now because Quiz has been on. He's bugging me. He's like, how did you get that? I'm like, I don't know, man. It just showed up.
I think I have to go digging for it. And I think
It's
it's like 500
they make me
subs.
pay by, you know, fucking me over in the algorithm because I refuse to get monetized. It's like heroin. Never have, never will.
There you go.
Mhm.
Anyway, so next week, same time, same place, same utter, same face. Thank you, chat, for coming out and hanging out with us. Because, you know, without you, it'd just be two idiots in a Discord call
Yeah.
talking about everything and anything.
From squirrels to divorce to clit ticklers. Everything.
Really, we really do talk about everything.
We cover the subjects, man.
I don't even know how we got to where we got to from where we started. Just, okay. Anyway.
You could go back and create a flow chart. It wouldn't.
It would look schizophrenic, Polly.
Yeah, it really would.
Like, if schizophrenia were a piece of paper, it would look like that. Anyway, so, yeah. We'll see you guys then, and in the meantime, have a good week. Peace
See you
out.
later, everyone. Thank you for the donations.
Yes, thank you for those.